Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Good evening and welcome to Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. It's Hump Day. Hump Day, which means Tim's in studio. Merle is here. So you people in the chat room better merle it the hell up tonight as we get ready for tonight. On A is here. Hi, on A. On A. Yeah, just a little thing from Reno that's kind of funny. All right, all of you in the chat room, let's say hello. We got Race Fan in the gold medal position. Tim Mothman in his goatee, sharing a silver. Christine Lynn with a bronze medal. Lil Cam over on YouTube tonight. You're not going to believe this. He bench pressed 800 pounds 77 times to warm up for Merle tonight. He's jacked. He's ready. 800 pounds. All right, Merle getting merled by Tim there. T-Bone, my man, Katie Caddywhack, Robert Lamoth, Rose Demaray is here. Rose Demaray will be signing autographs after the show. Line up to the left of the studio, if you don't mind, to the left of the studio. Mama Catherine. Mwah! I love you, my dear. I love you so much. You warm my heart. I love you. Major Lee, are we going to be in a good mood tonight? Let's find out as we continue on. Let's merle it up there. All right. And little Timmy James is merling it up too. JSCO, how you doing? And Mel WD40 is here, lubing us up for tonight's show, because you always want to go into a show nice and smooth. You don't want any rigidness. It's never comfortable if it's rigid. Very uncomfortable. That's why we lube up for tonight. Merle likes a lot of lube. I don't know about Ane. Dirty Filth does too. All right. Because we want to go into this show smooth. All right? We want to go in smooth. Just remember that. Lee the Bee, how are you? Good to see you. Dragonfly, nice to have you here. Jay Truthseeker, good to see you. And who is next? Frankie B. How you doing, my man? Laura Lobbs, what's happening? Area 51, the lovely and talented Kira is here. You know what? It's been a while since Kira signed autographs. So Kira will be signing autographs after the show as well. Line up to the right of the studio, if you don't mind, to the right of the studio. Hi, Carrot in the Woo Train. How you doing? As we continue on with our roll call tonight. And who is next on our list? Well, it's just the same people having a conversation. Eternity Eternal, thank you for coming on in. Hi, S for Met, JBD. Good to see you both. Jeff Sherrod, how you doing? Good to have you back. Rock and roll here as we continue on. Little Marky Spender is merling it up with a simple, basic Merle. That's it. That's it. It's enough for him. He needs oxygen just to extend that a little bit. Simon in Australia, how you doing? Thank you for kicking off the super chat tonight. He's apparently out of oxygen as well because he just merled. All right. Millennium, my man. Thank you for coming on in. High Flat 6. Number 7 in your program starting on defense tonight from Stockholm, Sweden. Lars Jansson. There he is. Supposed to score about 35 goals. He's projected for 35 goals this year. Scrolling on down, we have, all right, Rico Dion Viglione from Calgary. Sorry about that, by the way. Let's go, Oilers. Merle is even merling himself. Okay, that's how much he loves a good Merle, is he'll Merle himself. There's the period dot. He ends every sentence right there. Deidre, the hippie from Vancouver Island, she's wearing her Birkenstocks tonight. Good to have you here, T-Bone, my man. Thank you for the awesome super chat. Let's get the radio side going. Hello and welcome to the radio and podcast side of Spaced Out Radio tonight. Ghosts of the Great White North. Our main man Merle is here. Ane is here, as well as our guest, as we continue on with the roll call, as we flat six some Merling right there. Yum Yum Devil, good to have you back. Parasolo and the period dot Merling it hard right there. Ozzy, Pam Harris, good to see you as we continue on with our roll call. Hi, Candy, how are you? Thanks for coming on in. Wilfred Brimley's mustache. How's the diabetes tonight? Please let us know. Matthew Goodcut, nice to see you. And Contrary One, Marty Burback, Paramar, Richard Minnick. Good to have you all here as we continue on. I'll type out the rest. Throw those horns up, everybody. Let's rock. Mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world. This, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digital on every major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out the Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. You can follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. We got a ghostly night of stories tonight. Merle is here from Paranormal Road Trippers and Ghosts of the Great White North. Here we go. Then in hour number 3, Swamp Dweller returns for another spooky story. Then little Timmy James will join us for the UFO report. Each and every month, we get our spook on. We like to get frazzled, scared, maybe a little ghostly from Vancouver, British Columbia. Our main man Merle is here from the Paranormal Road Trippers in a little ditty we call Ghosts of the Great White North. Now, Merle here is not only a very good friend of mine, but in my opinion, he is one of the top paranormal investigators, if not the top paranormal investigator in Canada. Yep, he smells what the Merle is cooking. He really does. And every month he comes in to talk about some great paranormal stories and investigations. And tonight, we have psychic medium Ane Saman, who is here, hanging on out with us to talk about what it's like to communicate with spirits. Let's bring him on out. Merle, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you again.
I'm doing fantastic, Dave. It's almost as if I wasn't here last month.
You weren't.
I know.
You skipped out. Why did you skip?
I skipped to go ghost hunting, Dave.
Yeah, you did.
I drove by your house, waved at you, and I kept going.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
You did get invited. You had choices to make, young Dave.
I was going hunting. Let's just be clear on this. We're heading up to Barkerville to go ghost hunting. And then you're like at the last minute, like I had 8 minutes to plan, about 8 minutes, said, hey, we're passing through town here. Let's grab some lunch. And I'm like, dude, I'm heading into the forest here.
Well,
there's a duck I'll never see that I'm going for.
You missed the Merle sighting. You had choices to make and you made them.
I saw your photos. They were absolutely great. I hope you had a really good time up there.
We did. We were up there for 4 days filming an actual documentary. Not just on the ghostly side of things, but the historical sides of things. It was really fun. We picked a few different predominant families from the town of Barkerville, like the Gold Rush town. We've talked about many times. And we shared and told their story as well as communicated with them in modern day.
That sounds absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. And who is our friend Ane here? Hi, Ane.
You know, Ane wins the award for one of the coolest people I've ever met. If in 2024, she wins. I met Ane. We met Ane in Reno, and that's a Top
Thanks
Gun
for
reference. But no, we met Ane in Reno, and her energy and her presence is amazing, powerful. I would say intimidating yet powerful. And I had the privilege to actually, and they came up to Virginia City when I was doing my side mission after our Reno SOR party, and she came up and she spent the day and most of the night with me investigating the Silver Queen Hotel.
Ane,
it was
have
awesome.
you always been a ghost hunter?
No, I haven't. I've been always born and raised a psychic medium and tarot card reader. So spirit has always kind of come to me. So they hunt me. But actually it's been, I would say, where I actually actively go out into areas and locations and channel spirit for people and relay messages for them during their investigations. I would say I started that about 6 years ago. So that's that part of of what I do, of my paranormal existence, started about then. So, because I was signed up for a paranormal television show, and I didn't even know what a paranormal investigation was at the time. So I had to learn quick.
I want to ask you, for a lot of people who may not understand or know, what's it like to communicate with spirits on the other side?
Well, if you don't know what's going on, it can be a little creepy. I grew up this way, so it was a little rough in a childhood growing up, not necessarily knowing what was going on, but I knew that I heard things and I knew that other people weren't hearing them. But one thing I can tell you is that for a sign that it is spirit communicating with you, is you're going to get a little bit of anxiety. You're going to feel a little chill up your back and up your spine. And then you're going to probably even feel like you can't breathe a little bit, like you're getting a little bit, like your lungs are starting to fill up a little bit and getting anxiety. And what I've learned through my own experience is, and also what I've learned through, because I belonged to a spiritual church since I was 17, and I eventually just became the head pastor. I just retired from there, being a head pastor at the church. But is spirit, when spirit doesn't have a meat suit anymore, when they lose their meat suit, they vibrate at a very high level. And we with our meat suits, we vibrate at a sluggish level. So when they're trying to tap in and they're touching in, it's kind of elevating our energy. So that kind of gives us more of an anxiety kind of feeling. And so that's a sign that you're not having a panic attack or an anxiety, that you are actually in tune with spirit. And there's many signs that they can give you. It's, flickering lights, they mess with your electronics. Then they'll probably give you the feeling that you're not alone. You're like, whoop, got that feeling, someone's here. And then you get the anxiety where your chest fills up and you can't breathe. And then all you have to do is just basically ask them to please, lower their vibration to match yours and communicate with you, so that you may understand the messages. And when it does come to messages, I've learned that it doesn't sometimes always just come in like they're just, like you and I are having a conversation right now. it can come in images, shapes, colors, feelings, smells, sensations, like they might touch you or they might give you a smell, and that will remind you of who they are, when they were here. Like cherry tobacco reminds me of someone in particular, and roses reminds me of somebody also. So there's different smells for different people. Then they might go that route in the beginning, but the biggest thing I have to say is trust your intuition and trust your imagination. If you've got an imagination, you are your aces when it comes to communicating with them, and just learning to trust that.
Merle, you love using a psychic medium when you are on investigation. You feel it adds to the knowledge that you can gain from a place as a paranormal investigator, because there are so many out there who are all about the science. Okay. You're somebody who does it differently. You want every point of communication that's possible. Why do you do it that way?
Well, I do love the science because I do, but I also like that the psychic side of it too. And bringing in a trusted psychic, you can correlate both the science and the psychic. I'm not going to poo-poo a psychic because I'm a scientist. I would never say that. I would trust a tried, true, and tested psychic a lot quicker than I'll trust a false positive K2 reading. Especially like I will use Anae as an example. Watching, and we can talk about it later, but what I watched her do in the Silver Queen had my jaw dropped, and it scared me watching things like that. And I literally have been watching the video because I'm putting we shot a little video there, and I've been putting that together, and just I've rewatched and they do Anae things, and
What
it's
happened?
amazing.
Tell us the story.
Yeah, we can get into that now. We were in the Silver Queen Hotel, and it was me, Anae, and Brad. And I was in the infamous, what room number is it again? Is it
I think it was 11.
11? Yeah. And that's said room where all things happen. There's a lot of folklore, a lot of legend on it. They say that a lady the night took her life in the tub. They say that there's multiple spirits in the room, and then and you basically popped off right when right when you came in the room, and just watching her, like her face kind of changed, her voice, her tone changed, and I look at Brad and we're kind of like, well, this just escalated because we didn't even really say hi yet. And she because it's an old school 1800s room, so the bathtub is in the bedroom essentially, and Anae goes in the bathtub, and she's sitting there, and then you had the voice of a young woman, like early 20s or like late teens, because that was how old said female was that took her life there, and you just harnessed all of that energy, and you were saying things, and then you brought up a male spirit that shockingly didn't like me. I seem to have that effect everywhere I go, and then you got really upset, and you cried. There were tears, there was anger. It was a full thing, and just watching a psychic medium go through all this, and I've worked with a lot of psychic mediums over my time, but watching Anae, it was like, oh my god, this is like next level. and that's a huge compliment. And what do you have to say about that time?
Well, the funny thing is that I am waiting anxiously to see your video, because when I channel, because I was raised in a church where we learned to channel, and it just kind of and I've been doing it since I was 17, knowingly, actively, doing this. Before that, I was doing it, and I didn't know what I was doing. But as I was from 17 on up, I've gotten a lot of practice during my church to channel, which some people think are possession, and it's really not. It's actually just, I'm open to spirit coming in and communicating through me their message, and then I either push them out or they leave when they're done, or if there's another one that wants to come in and they would duke it out. I do allow that if I feel like I'm in a safe environment, and you and Brad provide a safe environment for me to just open up and freely be and channel at will. So I kind of have more of a tunnel vision. It's like where you're in a tunnel and you can kind of maybe see a little bit of something way at the end. Or it's kind of another way of explaining it is that I'm in a movie theater, but I'm kind of taking naps, and I kind of come to every now and then and kind of go,
That's an interesting way to say that.
What's going
Yeah.
on, fill me in. So, but,
now, when
yeah.
things like that happen, do you remember? Do you remember everything that happened?
No.
Oh,
Sometimes
so you got to watch the video.
Yes, that's why I'm
Okay.
anxiously waiting for the video. I'm like, yay! I can't
If all
wait
the
for
stars
video.
align, it'll be dropped by Sunday.
Woo, good.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
so.
I'm excited because I kind of sometimes almost like you kind of take a little nap in a sense, if you're comfortable.
Yeah.
And that's where I felt comfortable and I felt safe with you and Brad. We discussed things first about how it's supposed to work, and no one was thinking I was being possessed by demons, because they're it's very rare to find a demon, so especially at the Silver Queen. But yeah, it was very entertaining from what we did discuss when I would come out of the trance.
Mm-hmm. And my memory of that was, so you trance the said female of the Silver Queen, and you also, I don't want to say her, I don't know if I can say that word on air, but her overseer, her businessman, as well, who was really upset that there were two males in the room with
Yes.
you.
I remember.
And I thought, and then Dave, I thought Anae was going to do fisticuffs.
Oh, wow.
For a minute, when she had the male energy or spirit in her. But yeah,
I do remember coming to in the bathtub.
Yeah.
I remember just kind of saying hello and walking in your room, and the next thing I know, I'm in your bathtub. So and not in a naughty way.
No,
I
fully
don't
clothed.
I don't think it was a naughty way. I don't know. Was it naughty?
No, you were fully clothed, and you were staring at Brad and I, and we were like, "What's happening here?"
Yes. I kind of felt like I was having almost kind of a sensation of being almost pushed down and not being able to breathe. And that's about all I remember. And then I remember kind of coming up and going, whoa, I'm in this tub.
Now, you were just in Virginia City. You're there. You're local almost. You're almost local status.
I love that.
Dave, she brought me down to the local bar where we met all the locals and got some really cool ghost stories, some intel of Virginia City. What draws you there? Is it the spiritual stuff, or is it the vibe of the town? I want to go back next year. I'm hooked to the town for whatever reason.
Yes. And yeah, I didn't even want to leave really, but and if I brought Kitty with me, who's right here keeping me company. If I had brought her with me, I'd probably still be there right now. We'd probably be doing this from Virginia City, and I'd probably make it so that we were in the Silver Queen.
Oh my God, that would have been cool.
Wouldn't it? I know, it's so cool. But what drew me there was I happened to be about 5 years ago or more now it's probably more, about 6, because time flies for me. But I was doing an event there, and Paracon, and I fell in love with one, I love Tombstone because I'm from Arizona, and Tombstone and Bisbee are the place to go, but they're so different in energy. Tombstone is, the silver, they have the silver mine, and it's all Western, and you've seen it, and it's all rugged and sexy, and Kurt Russell, and then you have Bisbee, which is more elegant. It's bricks and copper, because it's the copper mine, and it's the red brick and copper, and it's just beautiful and elegant. But Tombstone, Virginia City is a combination of both, and it is just the architecture there, and just the buildings, and C Street is just absolutely beautiful. It has the boardwalk, I think the original boardwalk. It's just everything there is just amazing. And I fell in love with the Delta
Yes.
Saloon. And that was like one of the first buildings, if I'm correct with my history, it was one of the first buildings built. It was the Delta from the saloon from the moment it opened its doors till today.
Yep.
And the doors were closed. It was closed down when I first saw the place. And I fell in love. Something drew me to that place. And I was just like, I have to get into this building. Next thing I know, the owner of the building is trying to communicate with me so that I can do events there for him and do readings for the building as well. And
cool.
For him, because he owns the Bonanza and the Delta. He did recently just sell the Delta. And that's the reason why I went up there to see if I could, kind of continue on doing events there. So, but and the energy is just, I feel as if I was there before. And a lot of people that I've met that live there now or frequent the place, they also feel as if they've been there before themselves in a previous life, because you just get this intense connection and draw to this place. And you seem to just kind of connect with everybody there. And it's just a reunion of family and soul.
I remember you and I talking on the picnic table when we were having a coffee right before we parted ways. And we had a lengthy conversation of like, we probably knew each other back in the day there. And I fully to this day agree with that still.
Yes, I remember that conversation. And I still feel we were connected there. Yes,
100%.
definitely.
We got 2.5 minutes before we have to go to break at the bottom of the hour. One Saman is our special guest tonight on Ghosts of the Great White North with our main man, Ravishing Merle Rude, here tonight. And I want to ask One, for people who may not understand, why would a ghost stay in a building, in a hotel room, in a bar, at a hospital, wherever? Why would they stay there?
I feel maybe they were as a tragedy at one point and how they passed and might have been stuck there. Afraid to move on, or that they don't even realize they're gone. There's a variety of reasons, and maybe they're still just living their life. So that's why I'm always kind of like, when I go to investigations, I'm always saying to people, please respect the spirit, because how would you like it if someone came into your home and was like, hey, who are you? What do you want? Like, or why are you here? When did you die? And I'd be like, oh my goodness, you just burst into my home and I'm dead. So get out. And then people get confused and think that it's a negative energy. But there's so many reasons why they're connected. And one of them could be just out of fear, simply of moving on. And another is that maybe they are connected and love it and don't want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Can you connect anywhere in the world? Like, say, for instance, if you got a phone call from somebody in Zimbabwe or Thailand or even where I am in Canada, could you connect to pick up the spirits there?
Yes, I can. Because what I do is I read energy. I connect with energy. So if you want a reading, then yes. So if you ever hear like you're, just kind of doing your little daily chore and you hear Dave, that's me.
I always thought it was more like Dave.
Oh, sorry. Dave.
That's
Dave.
better. Thank you. I appreciate that. We're going to get into some ghost stories tonight from Virginia City, Nevada, as well as other places. One Saman is our guest tonight. Special guest on Spaced Out Radio's Ghosts of the Great White North with our main man, Merle, from the Paranormal Road Trippers. We always have fun when Merle is here, man. Merle. Just say it with me. It rolls off the tongue so well. Merle. We love him around here. Ghosts of the Great White North. Haunted Halloween special. Coming up next on Spaced Out Radio. All right, we're clear.
Dang, that like flew by. That felt like 5 minutes.
It
That was
did.
a
That
good
was
story, guys. Very good story. Merle,
Yeah,
do you like ravishing Merle Rude?
I do. I almost wanted to do the little dance he does when he got in the ring. You know, shake the hip thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
enjoying
no,
the
that was-
cowboy-esques.
The what?
The cowboy-esques. It's like
Absolutely.
burlesque, but for cowboys.
Cowboy. Yeah, I like it. That's
I'm
me.
I need to get a hold of you in the next couple days because I have a ghost tour coming up here. Second to last or third last ghost tour. And I'm trying to figure out where the ghosts are because they're not in the buildings. And every building is silent.
They just don't like it, Dave.
Wouldn't surprise me right now.
They're hiding from you.
Chat room, not enough Merling going on here, people. You know what to do. You're better than that. When Merle's here, you got to Merle the fuck up here, people.
You swore.
You
We're
swore.
on commercial break.
You're not supposed to swear.
We're on commercial break. I don't make a habit of it, but if we're not going to Merle, what's the point of Merling?
But the dot is here, Dave.
That's all right. Look, little Timmy James here. He's stepping up to the plate. Look at that.
Yeah.
I appreciate everyone in the chat room.
I have a video of Merle.
Uh-oh.
Of him stapling $1 to the bathroom wall.
A $5 bill, mind
Oh,
you.
was it $5? Oh, wow, big spender.
Canadian $5. So yeah, $1.
Did not successfully throw the dollar and have it stick to the ceiling. So he had to go to the wall of shame and staple his $5 Canadian bill to the wall at the men's room.
Yeah.
And I have video of
Where's
it
this?
at the Silver Dollar Saloon
Yep.
in Virginia City. So you'll have to go to Silver Dollar Saloon, go to the men's room.
Take a selfie with my $5 bill.
Yes, yes.
And then was it still
Not to
there?
one up here, okay? But if you go to the Little Ailey Inn in Rachel, Nevada, the only Canadian bill I had on me was a $50 bill, and that is now stapled to the ceiling of the Little Ailey Inn with my name on it.
That's awesome.
Aw.
Oh yeah, lots of good Merlin going on. Hi, Brown Dwarf, how you doing? Walter, good to see you. Look at Dave Tiger Williams here, stepping up big here. Yeah, he's riding the stick right there, man. Riding the stick, giving the fist pumps to the crowd at the Pacific Coliseum. Oh yeah,
T-Bone stepped up. Woo.
Laura Elizabeth, thank you. Look at Tim Mothman here, dropping an Ane.
Aw.
I love
Tim.
Mothman.
Very nice.
Tim
That's a
kept me-
lubed up Merle right there.
Tim
That's
kept
a
me
lubed up
company on my drive back from Virginia City.
Awesome.
He was the only one that knew that I was leaving. He's like, swing by California on your way home. All right. If I didn't have my dogs, I would.
T-Bone, that's way too big. Way too big.
Yeah, that's a Merle right there.
T-Bone loves me. I don't know why, but he does. I don't deserve it. Ugh.
I am wondering this silent person or silent hands here in the little corner.
That's
That
dirty
is
filth.
The dirty filth.
That's dirty filth.
Oh, well, dirty
We
filth.
love dirty filth.
We'd ask him to turn his mic on, but by the time he turns it on and figures it out,
The show's pretty much over.
Is
Yeah.
it like, is it this way or is it this
Oh,
way?
it
There we
keeps
go.
spinning as it goes.
Are those ghosts and bats?
Oh, we got some bats, and we got this. It's the spooky pals going out. You'll have to wait till it's done. It'll make more sense. I promise.
Because at first Merle, I actually thought he was starting off with the Silver Queen, really, to be honest.
Oh, dang. Yeah.
I thought maybe he was psychically and intuitively kind of drawing that. But
Oh,
then I
really?
started to see that there's a moon and bats, but it was looking pretty close. It was looking pretty close in the beginning.
Interesting.
Deadman, how you doing? All right, guys, we only got a few seconds to go here. So big thank you tonight to Simon in Australia, T-Bone with 2, Richard and Debaruni with the super chats. Really greatly appreciated. Thank you for adding that. And Joanne, and here we go. Here we go, the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you very much for joining us. We really do appreciate earning your listening ears wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Reminder to all of you that if you missed portions of this show or others, you can check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor. Hit that subscribe button. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. From Vancouver, British Columbia, height unknown, weight unknown. From the Paranormal Road Trippers, we have Merle talking ghosts all night long on Ghosts of the Great White North, and psychic medium Ane Saman is our guest tonight. Merle, Ane, welcome back.
Thanks, Dave.
You said that you can go to any location in the world and pick something up. How do you do that? How does it come through?
It's just energy. We all can do it. You sense it yourself if you open up and you allow it. I do nothing special.
I don't make predictions.
Is it like a form of like astral travel? Is that what you're doing?
Some people call it remote viewing. If you're like in, like, if I can like picture the location, but it's just tapping into energy. It's like, but we're all kind of connected. So it's just kind of, you just focus on it and what someone wants you to focus on. And, so you give me a topic or a person or something, and then I just start to read it, the best I can. I mean, I'm not going to claim I'm 100% accurate all the time, but I'm pretty darn close because sorry. I'm so sorry. Hey, do you want to go in your crates?
Oh, that damn go on your crate. That's a
No, bedtime.
Say,
Go to bed.
bad dog if you're going on the crate. Don't want that.
Yeah, they sound like little gremlins. Sorry. It's just tapping in energy. Just kind of like when you're walking into a room and you feel that and you're connecting with it, and you can sense if it's a positive energy or something negative. If you're not one of those people who are afraid of the unknown, you have to kind of be, because naturally as humans, if we don't know or see something, or if something's unfamiliar for us, we tend to do this fight or flight kind of thing. And if you can't see it, you can't fight it. And so then you go to the fright mode. So it's where you're fleeing. And then that's where you kind of like, people start to think, oh, it's demonic or evil. And really it's just unfamiliar. That's all it is. So, but once you start to familiarize yourself with different energies, I'm sorry for the breathing. He's a little excited. So it's just tapping in energy. You're gonna know, and when you feel the energy, you're just gonna be like, you're gonna start to relax and open up and say, okay, hi, how can I help you? What's your name? What are you doing here? How are you? Can I have your story? And when you start communicating in a respectful manner, at least with me, this is how I work. You just kind of, they'll pop messages into your head. Sometimes they might even just come and visit you.
Okay, I'm going to put you to the test here for a second.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm going to put you to the test. Not too hard, but
Okay.
just a little bit. So Merle knows the museum that I do a ghost tour at. And for the last number of years, or Merle knows, every building used to be absolutely hopping with energy, with absolutely any type of connection activity. And now it is nearly impossible to get any sort of connection or activity there. And it's difficult because we have one of the most haunted locations in the province, but there doesn't seem to be any sort of activity. They're no longer coming out to play. I have some theories, but before I state those theories, I'd like to get your opinion on where they all went.
Okay. Well, sometimes, I mean, just like as if you, a human, you know, in your meat suit here, if you have people visiting you all the time, sometimes you just need to just take a break. I'm one of those that needs to be reclusive every now and then, and kind of like recharge. So if you're constantly having energy and people, you know, prodding and questioning you and coming into your energy, sometimes, you know, it's, you know, maybe they're okay with it, and then there's times when maybe it's been a little overload. Or at the same time, you have to consider that, okay, you may be going in there respectfully into their space, but that doesn't necessarily mean other people are going in there respectfully into their space. And maybe they're bringing and conjuring and opening up things that weren't there before. And it's kind of almost like overpowering or chasing away the regular spirits, or where they just choose to not communicate. Then there is the time where maybe they did just kind of move on. Maybe they crossed over. Maybe they got to the point where they did want to, like, maybe they reincarnated. Maybe they went to the light. There's so many things that can happen and be explained.
Okay.
And
So
that's
let
kind of
me be a little bit more specific then.
Okay.
Right. It started off when they, in one house, when a dark psychic tried to cross over one of our most popular spirits, a young lady named Mary. And we knew that she sent her to a purgatory of some sort. We've got her back, but she's really gun shy about anybody or anything during the tour. She is only really communicated, like, we're talking, she used to allow people to come in and touch her. That's how much she loved this tour. Okay. And now I've had her go absolutely, I'm going to call it normal, what she was once. Is that a ghost or is that your dog?
It's my dog. She's a little too large to walk under the chairs. She kind of takes
for our radio audience who can't see, there's like, I'm watching this chair move in behind Anne, and I'm like looking at it, and it's like, is that a ghost? Okay, so anyways, long story short, we know she's back, but she will not really communicate with anybody again. So that's I'll let you answer that first.
Yeah, what I would do if I were you, I would go there by myself or with just a couple people that you trust and that she trusts, at least from the past, and just sit there calmly. Bring her a gift. Do you know what she likes?
We have provided everything from flowers to clothing to a bed to pillows.
Try marshmallows.
Okay.
I don't know why. They're just telling me marshmallows. I feel like she likes marshmallows. I don't know if she's ever experienced a marshmallow or what, but just bring some marshmallows, bring some sweets, basically, bring some sweets. And just kind of sit there and communicate with her and explain your situation. And I feel like she's going to open up to you. Yes, she said yes, she's going to open up to you.
Cool.
For some reason, marshmallows seem to be the thing. I don't know what that's all about, but maybe she'll explain marshmallows to you.
The second one is in our main barn which used to be extremely active, big Clydesdale barn. A few years ago, they decided to put a jail cell in one of the barn stalls. And literally, it cleared out every spirit on that floor of the barn, like right out. It's ridiculous. Like you barely see anything again.
Well, you shifted their energies and their place of their home. So, and you put other energies in there. So yeah, you're shifting the whole energy of the place. At least this is my opinion of how I feel that.
Right.
And I feel like they kind of felt like maybe they were almost kind of evicted. They're still there though. They're just kind of, they moved in. Is there a lower level?
Yes.
Okay, because they're in the lower level.
Well, the lower level is where they were. They're not there now.
They went back then because they're telling me lower level. Is there another level beyond that lower level then? Because there's something about a lower level.
No, it's right on the ground. Like it's hard packed ground that the building is built on.
Okay, then they must have gone back to that lower level because they just said lower level to me. So whatever that is. So maybe they're still there. They went back. They're making it their own again. They're reconnecting. But yeah, you shifted their energies and you shifted their home. And so I'm feeling like that's what they're telling me was an issue. It was kind of rude. It was kind of rude. They came in and changed things. But I still think they're connected to the earth then. If that's what they're saying, if they're saying the lower level and that is the lower level and they're still saying lower level to me, then maybe they're just connected to the earth in that spot right there. So they have not left. It's just you may need to, again, walk into there, and since you are a familiar energy to them, they will probably connect with you. Now, are any of these energies that you have connected with, are any of them horses by any chance?
Yes.
Okay, because they were saying bring sugar cubes.
Interesting.
Okay. What the problem is, we used to have very active spirits in there. And I can understand it. And I go by Merle's theory on this, that when in that area, which is along the Gold Rush Trail, which started in Virginia City, there used to be a lot of rogue people along there. Police weren't a thing up here at that point.
Nope.
And now it just seems like it's all empty.
Bring in the popo and they scatter.
I don't think it's empty. I think they just kind of are just, again, they are just taking a break. I think when you have people bringing in other energies, their own energies, and trying to shift and because you don't know if somebody's, like you said, you had in one of your previous places, you had someone come in and try to remove them and send them to purgatory. So you don't know what other people are doing when you are not there. And a lot of, in my experience, this is where this is like, I don't particularly do this unless it's in someone's personal home and I'm being asked to remove or bless or cleanse the energy there. Only in someone's personal home if it's harming them in any way. Otherwise, I leave energy right where it's at. It's just out of respect, and I don't like to shift energy because you don't know what when one energy leaves, you don't know what is filling its spot. And maybe it's there for a reason. Maybe it's protecting other energies that are there. Maybe, because there's just so much that we don't understand on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you have people who do think they know everything and they might have their answers. But I personally feel like whatever is going on that side, it could be reflecting our own personal lives and how we live our own lives and how we would feel if things were being done to us. So I just that's how I kind of work. And I'm feeling someone is messing with the energies there.
Like currently?
Yes, I feel like they're coming in, and I don't know which location it is. There's a third location that you go to, and I think someone created or opened or did something with a portal. I'm not really exactly sure what they did, but there is something to do. They're saying the word portal in my head, and they're saying the number 3. So this is either the third location or there's 3 locations, and something about a portal, and that it wasn't there before and it is now created. People are trying to manipulate the energies, and some don't really know what they're doing.
See, Dave, that makes sense.
That makes total sense in regards to that, because it's funny over the years with the people who are on the board of directors. It's amazing how all of them have become psychic and they can connect, and they move and shift the items in the buildings around and make the buildings really uncomfortable. They're not asking permission. It's just absolutely ridiculous on how they've taken a good thing that was very simple and tried to make it into something else.
Mm-hmm. When you shift the energies and you're coming into your house, or someone's coming into your home, and you have all your little trinkets and things and tchotchkes all set the way you like them. And then someone comes into your house and they rearrange everything on you. And now you're upset because maybe those things, that little tchotchke over there was Billy Bob's, and that's, you don't like Billy Bob, and Billy Bob and you need to stay in separate, areas of the house. And then your precious little egg was over here. Your little porcelain egg is now in, somebody else's part of its house or area, and your stuff's being touched. Me personally, don't touch my stuff. Leave me alone.
100%.
And certainly don't mix my stuff with somebody I don't care for. So it's just being rude, and that can, and then if someone's trying to come in and tell me, go back to where go back to, purgatory, or go back to wherever the heck you need to go, or cross over, look at the light, maybe I don't want to go to the light. Maybe I like right where I'm at. Maybe maybe I thought I was living my life and living my dream, and you come in and burst in and tell me what the heck, it's like, get out. So this is probably what's happening. And because I feel like there's chaos, I feel like there's a swirl and a tornado of energies being shifted. I do feel like it's not positive, but it could very well be eased. This, because it's an dis-ease. It's where they're not at ease right now, and it just needs to be. Maybe if you just kind of go in there respectfully, and they're going to tell you. And one of them, are you going into a hospital or something where there was like kind of a hospital atmosphere? Because someone wants whiskey. I don't know. There's,
how many bottles of whiskey I have spread around in that museum?
I just did a head shake when you said that too.
It's someone wants whiskey, and they've got a wheelchair. I'm feeling like it's an old-fashioned wheelchair, and the person who was sitting in the wheelchair or it belongs to wants the whiskey. So I don't know who that is. I
haven't seen a wheelchair in there.
And is there someone with the name James?
One of my tour guides who's sitting right on the other side here.
Oh, okay. Well, James, you need to bring them whiskey. And don't sit in the chair. Just respectfully bring the whiskey.
Which chair?
I don't know. They're telling me don't sit in the chair. Don't make yourself too comfortable. Just bring them the whiskey. So wherever they are, this is I'm feeling this is like almost kind of like a hospital setting, or was a hospital setting of some sort, or it feels like that kind of a setting. I feel like it was supposed to at one time been supposed to be like a sterile place, or what we would consider sterile, or should be sterile. And whiskey is and I feel like this person is kind of maybe missing a limb or part of a limb. So
It's in the
James,
okay.
this is up to you.
Okay, so in the men's parlor, which is interesting, there's a wooden chair in there that I've sat on. And on that wooden chair, leaning on it, has been an old prosthetic leg.
Oh my goodness.
And they hits a home run again.
Bring him whiskey and don't sit in the chair.
All right. We will hold on.
Bring him the good stuff.
To the tour, man.
Bring in the good stuff. I don't know what good stuff is. Is that like Royal Crown? Like
that was a bottle of Jack.
Was that?
Jack Daniels.
Oh, don't go jipping them. Don't jip them. I don't know what Jack is. So is Jack whiskey?
Jack Daniels, yeah, bourbon.
Oh, okay, all right.
Oh yeah.
Okay, don't jip them.
Tennessee bourbon. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
I only drink wine and coffee.
And what?
Wine and coffee.
I like sitting on that chair though. I do. It bugs me, but that I can't do that. But I know it's not a hospital, it's a hostel. The house was formerly a hostel.
Roadhouse.
It was a roadhouse.
Yeah.
Okay, so you saying hospital to hostel, pretty much the same word minus a couple letters.
Okay, if you want to make it fit. I don't typically like to make my stuff fit, but if it fits, great. If it makes sense to you, that's good.
It's different, but it makes sense.
Uh-huh.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it does, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And the chair and the leg thing, yeah, that's kind of weird.
That is weird. I remember seeing that leg there. But here's a question for you, Nate. I have a similar experience at a location that I do tours at and investigate at. It's called the Bailey House, and it's a town called Merritt in British Columbia. And going down into the cold room / basement, there used to be somebody in old-timey colored chalk. That it was a devil and an angel. It said from above to below. That's what it said. It was really weird. And no one knew who put it there, and it was dated. Somebody did it in the 1920s. And so me all about preserving history. I'm like, don't touch it. And the curators are like, no, that's kind of unique to the house because it's a mystery. But then, and we used to get a lot of paranormal activity there with the town or the house's previous residents. And this one paranormal team came in. They cross spirits. They that's what they do. They solve problems.
Even when there are no problems.
And they said, well, you know what we got to do? We got to paint over it. So they didn't get permission from the curator or the city. They just painted over it. And since then, there's still activity there. The activity's cranky, a little more wound up, but not nearly as much activity as it used to be. Now, with the stuff that Dave has experienced at the 108 Mile Ranch, and then that little incident where the team did that, how can one make amends with that stuff? Or kind of, because I'm not Picasso and I don't know how to use chalk art and like repaint it.
They really did some damage.
They did.
And that's sad. That really is. I don't know how you can. Is there a way to take paint off without damaging what's underneath?
They tried.
Yeah, and that's an issue. So all you can do really is maybe you can try to rewrite if you have a picture of what was underneath it.
I do.
And try to maybe redo it yourself in chalk or whatever that they and just kind of like, maybe this is getting extreme, but this is what they're showing me in my head. You know, you can write it in the chalk, and then you can somehow get a clear plastic thing to attach over it to seal it
Hold
in.
right there. Hold right there. We are going to go to break. Ghost of the Great White North continues with our main man Merle and Psychic Monet. When we return to Spaced Out Radio.
This is Spaced Out Radio with host Dave Scott.
All right, we're clear, guys. Let's turn it over to Dirty Filth and Blob. Blob is here, everybody. Finally, after weeks away, Blob has returned.
Aww.
Blob.
We'll have a good
Hello,
blob
Blob.
sighting.
How's it going, Blob? Yeah.
Big blob guy
Look at
right
that
here.
Blob. Blob in all her glory. Sitting here crushing my legs so I can't feel anything.
So Dirty Filthy,
Sorry.
do I get that picture sent to me? An autograph by you?
You're probably going to have to try to outbid the guy that already paid for it. So I don't know. You might have to fight him in a back alley. So,
Bummer.
however, I can send you a copy because I am going to scan it and keep a copy for myself. But the original's already spoken for. I'll frame it up nicely for you if you'd like.
You are
Maybe
sweet.
throw another drawing in there or something.
Dirty
Yeah,
Filth
it's a
is
Spooky
amazing.
Pals. I've done a spooky cartoon around Hallie. Yes, you are correct.
Leroy Brown, baddest man in the whole damn town.
Anyways, here he's got the goblin's got his last lunch bucket here. He's just painted it.
Aw,
black
look,
for Halloween
Fancy
color.
cheese spread says make her own. Aw, thank you. You know, I was thinking the same thing.
Yes, Blob, don't worry, it'll be snack time fairly soon.
Blob is he's Blob's a little bossy there.
It's always snack time after the show.
Fair.
Gotta feed Blob, gotta feed Whiskey, Gremlin, Gargoyle. Apparently the fish don't need snacks, but sometimes I don't know. Merle, do you need like 100 snails? I got like 100 snails. All my snails had greasy snail sex, and I have 100 snails in my fish tank.
That's good.
So you're good for like 27 snails, is what you're telling me?
30. I like even numbers. 32.
Okay.
And hey, where would you like to take it next half hour? Spooky stories of mediumship?
Sure. Whatever you want. We can do whatever you want. I am here to please you.
All right.
Right on. So you should run a campaign for me in tabletop role-playing games. I need a dungeon master. Do you ever had any experiences with perhaps like a dinosaur ghost or anything like that?
You know, I don't know if I ever did. I just do readings and I read energy, and there's times when I'm thinking like I'm talking to like somebody's baby or a child, and I'll be like, oh, your child had a special red ball. Next thing I know, it's like, and it's not making sense. And to me, it's not making sense. It's like, oh, okay, and then they're like, oh yeah, it's my dog. Oh, okay. So there's times when I'm just reading energy. Sometimes I can't tell, depending upon the energy and what the messages they're giving me. I can't tell if if it's their baby. If they've treated their animal like a baby, then it's going to come across as their baby. But then there's times when I will see like a dog or a cat, and they will let me know it's a dog or a cat or something else. I don't know if I've ever experienced a dinosaur. I have communicated and connected with, for other people, that have wanted to communicate with the Pleiadians. I didn't even know what a Pleiadian was at the time, and I was connecting
Don't
with.
let Dave hear that.
Don't let Dave hear that. So, but so whatever people want me to focus on, I pretty much for the most part can. I do not try to make things fit. If it doesn't fit, then it doesn't fit. If it does, if I'm getting a message and it's not being, they're not understanding it, I say, write it down. It will make sense later on. Yeah, but dinosaurs, I don't think I'm not sure. Maybe if I communicate with somebody who is really involved in dinosaurs, maybe I could.
Thanks for answering my question. I appreciate that.
Yes, April is a great time.
Perfect.
Because I'll be done with the Renaissance Festival. So, because I do the Arizona Renaissance Festival February and March, and then
Okay.
I'm free in April to do
things. Yep.
Yes. It might still be cold there, just so you know. But I'll have my Jeep.
I'm from Canada.
Oh,
All right, guys.
I'm from
Hold
the
on,
desert.
guys. Here we go. Thank you to Joanne, T-Bone ×2, Richard, Deb, and Simon for the super chats. Here we go. Hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. Thank you for joining us. My name is Dave Scott. We really do appreciate earning your listening ears wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on every major podcast network, our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. The Desert Clam has set the password for the SOR Space Travelers Club tonight. Dybbuk. Dybbuk is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. We got our main man, Merle. We got Psychic Ane. Both are here for Ghosts of the Great White North, looking into the paranormal, supernatural. And thank you both for joining us. Merle, when you look back on your paranormal career, tell our audience your spookiest story, because it is Halloween.
Oh, yeah, we're going to do Halloween time, Dave. Well, it all started back in 2015. You want a nice slow burner like that? No, I'm kidding. So my spookiest story actually was one of my first ever historic investigations. And it was at a place called O'Keefe's Ranch. This was when I was young and dumb. And I thought ghost hunting was like the shows. I'll be accountable. I was a bit of a firecracker. And the team I was with at the time, they knew that this was I jumped out of the nest like a little fledgling, and I'm gonna go investigate the paranormal. And this ranch house is one of the most haunted, spooky places I've been in. It's in a town called Vernon in British Columbia. And it was a famous cattle ranch. They would drive all the cattle from Washington and Montana all the way up to here. And there's the ghost of a child spirit there. Mr. O'Keefe haunts the place as well. So they're like, "All right, Mike, you go first." I'm like, "No, look at this place." But anyhow, I did go. I went in, and then the door slammed. So picture yourself going into an old farmstead from late 1800s. And it's all done out because it's a museum. So it's to the period. It looks beautiful. And you're a spry young lad. You walk in, and this heavy door just slams. And the door locked. Like locked. Like there's a key. There was no key, and it locked. So I'm puckered pretty good. I'm like, oh God, what did I get myself into? Panic sets in a little bit. The heart's racing. And then I hear footsteps, loud footsteps coming from upstairs hallway and then down the steps towards me. And I'm like, oh God, oh God, oh God. I wasn't saying God. I was using words we can't say. And all of a sudden it got really, really, really cold. And then I felt somebody right behind me, like something was going to happen to me. But then all of a sudden the door went click and it opened. And that was my intro into historic locations for ghost hunting. I'm surprised I haven't actually told you that story on all of the years I've been on your show. But that's top tier scare for me. But I think the most scary story I've told this one before was and we were just talking about the Bailey House where the people painted on the chalk. And with my day job, I'm an investigator, so I'm a little direct sometimes with my questions for EVP sessions or needing information. And I was upstairs. We were doing a standard EVP session. It was me, there's a medium with us, and two other investigators. And the medium was like, Mike, you need to back off of your questioning. I'm like, we're good. Again, young. And I wasn't being disrespectful. Maybe I was being just a little too assertive. And all of a sudden I felt this ice cold hand on my neck and it squeezed. And I couldn't let go. I need to control my surroundings. And I couldn't bat it away. And it was on me for about 3 to 5 seconds and it kept squeezing. And that's probably one of the most scared I've ever been in my life. And all of a sudden it let go. And I went outside. I tucked tail and ran to flower bushes and puked my guts out essentially because of I don't know what went through my body. And that night I contemplated actually like quitting paranormal investigating forever. And like, I don't know, join a church or something. But like in all seriousness, it did make me question everything. Why do I do this? Why do I want to put myself through that? And instead of quitting, I kind of made myself think, what can I do better to ensure things don't happen like that to me or other people? I am a respectful investigator, always have been. But you know what goes a long way? Introducing yourself when you go into locations. And I find ever since I do that now, I don't have those problems. And because if someone came into my house at midnight and I didn't know you, it's not going to end well if they're being forceful to me. I'll give you another story, Dave, and then we can pass it on to Anae for some spookies. This is a work story. So sometimes I see dead people at work, like real ones, not like an A. And we were at this property, and there was this male. He was passed away in his bed, and we were dealing with stuff in the house. And I was training another officer at the time. I'm like, this is all you. I'm just gonna watch. So he was lying in bed. He was there for about a week, so it wasn't pleasant. And I like talking about the story to you guys now. I can see him. He had a white beard, long white hair. He was in a blue sleeping bag, wearing like a sweatsuit, and I can see it like it was yesterday. And under the bed was a bunch of marijuana, like bags and bags and bags of it. And so that was all cleared out. But then that night, I actually had a paranormal investigation. And whenever I leave work, no matter the bad things I see, I had a great day. I just leave it at work. And I get to this paranormal investigation, and the medium that was there, he's like, Mike, who'd you bring with you? I'm like, no one. It's just me and my truck and some gear. He's like, no, there's a man with you, and he is mad. I'm like, what does this man look like? Oh, he has a white beard, white hair, tracksuit. Did you go to his house and rob him today? and take his stuff? I'm like, no. And he's like, well, this guy doesn't want to leave you. He wants to make your life a personal hell. I'm like, well, I didn't do anything wrong. I was doing my job. So it took a long time to clear and cleanse that guy's energy off of me because he was so upset because his spirit was there still in the house. He didn't realize he'd passed on. And that's one thing I've actually noticed with these types of files I go to. It's either, as Anay says, a meat sack, and it's just that's all it is, or you can still feel their energy, like that they're there. And it's so obvious because you can still sense that like they're living. It's bizarre. I don't know how, unless you've been there and seen that stuff. It's so bizarre. But being followed home from work like that kind of terrified me. It's happened a few times. But yeah, those are my 3 spooky stories for you, Dave. What'd you think? Give me out of 10.
Love them. That's 10 out of 10 stuff right there.
Yes.
10 out of 10 stuff. How about for you, Anay? What's the most creeped out you've become?
Top that.
I don't know if I can top that. That's pretty top tier right there, because you are right there present when they are leaving their body, and and it's just their spirit leaving their body is just so raw at that time and so vulnerable. And there's so many emotions that they're probably going through right there that a lot of them probably do connect to you or attach to you in some form just for security and some, like, whoa, what's going on here kind of a thing. And again, like if he didn't realize he was gone and you're in his house and, you didn't explain yourself, maybe, that once you started explaining yourself to people and introducing yourself, that probably eased their fears and anxieties and probably did help them release and move on. But yeah, that's intense right there. I work with people mostly 'cause as a medium and a minister, I work with people who, they bring their energies to me, their loved ones that they, maybe there's remorse or sad feelings or, where my job mostly is to connect, give them the messages, the healing messages that both sides need to hear and know that they're connecting and it's happening, and it's a healing session. That's basically what I'm doing is for people. I'm connecting them and relaying messages, and giving them peace. And that's what I typically do, and that's what I love to do. It's very fulfilling, very healing. So when I go out and so in a sense, you're doing the same thing when you are there for their crossing over, which it's, and how you understand it is beautiful. You've opened up to it. You're understanding their fears and their anxieties and what they're going through and understanding that. And that's, you're putting yourself in their spot, in their place, in their shoes, basically. And that's amazing. That's wonderful. And I commend you on that. But as far as like going into haunted houses or where they know they're kind of gone or like I would say probably, see, the thing is it's scary for me, but yet it's not scary. I'm petrified of the dark. I can't be in the dark. I don't even like being in a building in the daytime by myself. And I know there's energies there. I really don't. I can do anything as long as I got somebody holding my hand or like in the room with me. And that I trust, that has my back, to be able to open up and experience these things. But scary stuff for me is just being alone in a room or a house or a place where I'm alone, whether it's dark or light, it doesn't matter. And I would say the most recent one is where I just staying at someone's house, and it's my first time alone, and it was dark, and I was like, I had the radio on, And I still just felt like, "Yoop, there's something here. Someone's watching me, and I'm not familiar with this house, and this is kind of creepy to me. And I'm all alone, and I don't know anybody well enough there to like say, can you come keep me company, please?" So I had to try to like grab my blanket and bring it down to the couch and just kind of hopefully just kind of, you know, think everything was going to be okay if I was out on the couch for some reason. And then that's when things got even worse. I had the radio on. That didn't matter. It like would shut it off on me. And I'm just like, stop messing with me, please. I'm new here. And then it went and made some noises, and I didn't know what the noises were, but I do remember before I went to where I was like making my way to the bed, was that one of the doors was ajar, just slightly ajar. And then I heard this noise, and I'm like, oh, what the heck was that? And it was loud, and I'm hearing it over the music when it would let the music come back on. And I look in the kitchen barely, and the door's closed. I know the door's closed. I was like, I didn't do it. There's nobody else in this house but me. I'm freaking out. And then I'm like just kind of huddled on the couch because I'm a big chicken. And I'm like hiding under the blanket as if that's going to protect me. And I kept hearing all these noises. Again, these like banging and clanging noises that were in the kitchen that I should be seeing, because I'm like, I can see the kitchen, but there's nothing happening, but there's noises. And I'm like trying to look and peek to see if something's going on in there. Nothing. And I'm just like, okay, this energy in this house does not want me here for some reason. And I felt the energy not wanting me there from the very beginning of my visit. And I just was ignoring it. And because I love to be in Virginia City. So I was like, I'm going to ignore you. I'm going to have fun anyway. So, but when I was alone, that creeped me out. It knew to do that to me. And so it's nothing as scary as Michael MERLE here, but I'm chicken because I am so open and vulnerable to this that I really don't like to be alone when there is another aggressive energy trying to get rid of me. And then there's the ones where, I did have where I was not supposed to be channeling, and that was at the Bonanza. And I just actually just talked about this just recently when I was in Virginia City, and I was kind of sitting back with the owner of the building, and while these other people were investigating, and I wasn't supposed to be doing anything, and these energies just came in and took over. And I think what was more scary was the fact that everybody else was scared of what was happening with me and what they were doing to me, not realizing I was just channeling. So that was kind of more, it was more the humans were more frightening than the energies. And let's see, where else was I scared?
Have you ever come across like a negative entity in your travels of mediumship?
Oh yeah.
Or darker entities? Like what would you say is your most terrifying experience in that realm?
I will tell you, I didn't go there. Had this thing come up, this plan that we were supposed to be going to. It was supposed to be an investigation on TV and streaming live. And I flew from Arizona to Minnesota, and then we were supposed to go from Minnesota to, I think, Iowa, if that's near there. I don't know. It's another state near there. And we were supposed to go to this really haunted old farmhouse, and we were supposed to like road trip there with the rest of the crew. And the whole week before, now I get an anxiety for the flying, okay? But I just, I pop a pill and I'm good, But I popped a pill, and I popped another pill, and I popped another pill. But all week long, it kept saying, don't go, don't go, don't go. And this never happens to me. And then I'm on the plane, and I'm like just about to get on the plane, and I'm calling my girlfriend. I'm like, all right, something's telling me not to go. So I'm thinking I'm not going to survive this plane trip. So I didn't want to tell my family, but I'm telling you. I know it's like horrible to tell your friend that you think you're going to die, and it's like tell everybody you love them after you're dead. But I did. I called her and I'm like, hey, I don't think I'm going to survive this thing. But I ended up surviving it. And through the whole, because I kept taking pills. And get there and I'm like, okay, call her up. I'm like, okay, well, it wasn't that. I survived that. But something still kept saying, don't go, don't go, don't go. All week long as we're preparing for this event. And it's, then we go to, now this is the creepy part. I mean, I've got all these voices in my head saying, don't go, get in the car and go home. And I'm like, I don't have a car. I flew here. I can't bail on these people. This is an event that we planned and a lot of money is invested in this thing. And we go on the spirit box, like to do a Facebook Live event and a YouTube thing. Through the spirit box, this voice comes through and says, Ane, go home now. Oh God. And I was just like, oh crap. And like every hair on my body, just like, and it's still doing it today, just right now, just I'm talking about it. Then we went and did a spirit board session and we didn't even get to say hello. It spelled my name, ONAE, go home now. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I got to get on a plane. I had a return ticket. I didn't care about it. I was just like, you know what? I'm just buying a new ticket. I'm out. I was in the airport and on a plane within 4 hours of getting that wow. Little spirit board message. I'm like, I'm done. I can't, I'm sorry. I'm bailing on everybody and this whole event. I'm out. I can't do this. I was so scared. I've never been so scared in my life. I cried and cried and cried because I did not want to let other people down. But at the same time, I didn't know what the heck to experience. Sure enough, there was some negative things that were coming in from some kind of, I don't know, portal or something from the basement that like things were like attacking everybody there. And that was just investigators. That wasn't one of the ones that are sensitive, like they didn't even get another medium. It was very intense for them that I was afraid like maybe something was coming for me. Maybe something I would have been attacked. So, but that was super scary for me, yet I didn't experience what could have happened. I experienced everything up to it and then I ran. So that was scary for me. And that was the first time I actually ever listened to my intuition and said, okay, all right, that's it. I'm out. But for that to say, Ane, go home now through a spirit box thing, and then on top of it, spell it out again on a board. I was just like, yeah, I hear you. I'm out. See you.
Yeah, there.
So.
Dang.
We have just under 90 seconds to go before we have to go to break. At the bottom of the hour, Ghost of the Great White North with Merle and Ane. What do you think of dreams, Ane? Do you think they tell a story? Are they precursors to events? Or are they just imagination running wild, no matter how fun, how intimate, or how scary?
All of it. Everything you said and more. Did you want me to go on more?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I believe that they are some can be visitation from our loved ones or spirits actually visiting with us. We could be astral traveling in our dreams, in a dream state. And also I feel like, yes, that's our subconscious giving us messages. And yes, it could be our fears that we're just replaying in our dreams or warnings. And it could just be plain old fantasy.
I will tell you, and I remember telling Merle this story, and I'll get into it in the next half hour, but I never remember my dreams unless it's either ET contact or this one that absolutely scared the daylights out of me. I'll fill you in on that when we return on Spaced Out Radio. Final half hour of Ghost, the Great White North.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with your host, Dave Scott.
Hi, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. All right. There we go.
Thank you, Marty. Dave, I can't wait for your stories. They're going to be dramatic.
Scary.
Yes.
Scary.
We want all the drama and scariness. All of it. Mm-hmm. Man, this show actually is it's flown by, I must say.
It is. It's flying by. It really is. I'm just like enjoying it. I'm just so excited. I can't wait for your little film to come out because I'm just like dying to see what the heck I did.
Now you're scary. Like, even I can remember just Brad and I looking at each other like, oh my God. In a good way. Cause like it was kind of neat, even when I was asking you questions when you weren't an A, when you were either the male or the female. And just the way you would look through us. Oh my God. I wish my eyes were recording it. Like we have it on camera, but like just the eye to eye contact was, you scared me.
Well, I felt completely comfortable and safe with you that I felt like I could just let go and let them come in and pop in and out and relay their message that you wanted to hear because you were very respectful. I remember that. I remember you being very respectful, and which I guess led them to feel comfortable to come in, relay their message to you. And apparently you pissed somebody off. So, but then I don't know, did they leave right away or when you pissed them off or like, and then somebody come back in? I don't know. But I remember, I don't remember anything really, to be honest. I'm trying to like, I try to remember. I just remember being like walking in, being at your door and being like, hey, how's it going? Yay, I'm so excited to do this. And next thing I know, I'm in your tub, and I'm just like,
Literally what happened. Yep.
and I'm like, what am I doing in this tub? This is like crazy.
Yeah,
So
that's when Brad and I were starting to do the what's happening here. But I think the scariest part was when you got out of the tub and you were standing kind of in the close to the entrance of the hotel room, and you were rocking back and forth as well. It was, we got the shot. You'll quite like it. So.
oh my goodness, I'm like excited because I don't remember this stuff, and it's like, so to like have it, be where I feel like I was in a safe place and it was done ethically. Then I feel like, yes, I'm excited to see this. There was a film going around, actually a couple of films going around of me that people kind of like tricked me into. Didn't know I didn't know I was being filmed. I was not in a frame of where I should have been in those situations. It was like almost, it was like kind of like set up in a sense. And so with those, I did not, I was like, I will sue you if you do not delete this, because it was damaging to me. I felt in my own opinion, but the way, you asked permission, I felt safe. You guys were gentlemen and very respectful to the spirits, so that there was no conflict within me or anything harming me in any way, as well as not harming you, and which is or the spirits there, which was really nice.
That's kind of like, I guess I would consider myself, the term I use now is an ethical ghost hunter. Like I liked, it's all about, to me, the star is the location and the spirits within it. I don't need to go in there and say, bro, knock 3 times and let me know that you're here. I'd rather have people like yourself come.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can just come and just like bam, there you are. They get all right there in the package.
Yeah, or like learn the history enough to where the people's names that lived there or said to haunt there.
And the crazy thing is, I don't know anything about these places.
Mm.
I don't. When I walked into your room, I didn't even realize it was the most haunted room in the place. I thought Brad's room was probably the most haunted room in the place. So one of you guys, I knew one of you guys had something, but I
Mhm.
didn't expect anything to happen like as soon as I walked into your room. It was just all of a sudden I just shifted into in time, like and I was gone. It's like I just stepped into a new realm of some sort, and then I left myself behind as I went through the threshold of the
So when
room.
you do that,
Merle,
Yeah.
we gotta cut it off here. I
okay,
apologize.
no worries.
All right. Big thank you tonight to Marty T-Bone ×3. Nice hat trick, Marty or T-Bone. Really appreciate that. Joanne, Simon, Richard, and Deborah Rooney for the super chats tonight. You guys are amazing. Thank you very, very much. And don't forget, you can shop at our Spaced Out Radio store. We do not have ugly swag, people. No ugly swag. So make sure you check it on out. And here we go. Second half of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you very, very much for tuning us in as we talk paranormal with our main man, Merle, on a psychic media. Reminder to all of you that if you miss portions of this show or others, you can always check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/spaced out radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. Till the top of the hour, we got Ghost of the Great White North. Our main man, Merle, is here, along with Psychic Adne joining us. We were talking about dreams right before the break, and I had one that to this day still, lack of a better term and kind of punning it up, it haunts me. It absolutely haunts me. So this happened a couple of years ago where in my dream, I can see that I am staring up to the sky. And all of a sudden, I am dropped into water. And as it's like not ocean water, but it's like lake water. And I start to sink. And I can see these people in black on the dock. I could see the dock. I could see the daylight. And I go down, 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 down until I hit the sandy floor. And I realize at that time, I'm like, okay, how am I going to breathe? How am I going to move my arms? And nothing is moving. And I know I'm not paralyzed. It was then that I realized in this dream that I was dead. And I could see fish swimming around. I could watch. I could see the light from outside. And as it got darker and darker and darker, I was only in about 15, 18 feet of water. So you could still see the ground. Okay. But the light was a little bit dimmer because of how deep I was. And I'm lying there and I'm like, what do? I can't do anything. I'm stuck here. I can't move. I can't move my arms. I can't move my legs. I'm trying to breathe and I can't. And I realize I'm dead. And then I start panicking. Well, who's going to find me? What am I here for? What am I doing? Because everybody knows I'm not a fan of water, especially deep water. It doesn't matter. Right? I'm a land lover. But it scared the daylights out of me because it was so real. Now, a lot of people have had, as a kid, I had them too, where you're falling off a cliff or you jump out of an airplane and the parachute doesn't open or whatever. And then before you hit the ground, you wake up and you're like, oh, panic attack. But this one was extremely real because all I was doing was staring up, and I remember thinking, I'm fish food. These fish are going to eat me. Then I'm going to be a skeleton. And then what? Scared the hell out of me. What do you think?
To me,
Yes.
what do I think? I think you were mafia and you were sleeping with the fishes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. There's an American answer right there.
That tells me, let's see, I am not a dream interpreter, but that tells me that one, you're feeling trapped, and you're feeling over your head in a certain situation. And it feels like it's like eating at you, literally. You don't know how to get yourself out of the situation. You're over your head in it and you're trapped. And that is my interpretation of your dream. So whatever it is you feel like you are doing and you are stuck in and you don't feel like there's a way out, and it's like eating at you, and it's not it's I feel like all you have to do is kind of try to find where this is in your life and make a change. Choose. We always have a choice. You can stay in the situation or you can get out. And sometimes getting out might feel like it's impossible, but nothing's impossible. You just have to be brave enough to honor yourself and honor your soul and what you need to make this, because obviously your subconscious is telling you you're in a situation that you are not happy with and it is eating at your soul.
Wow. That's deep.
And they went deep there.
That cuts to the cord right there, as they say. Whoever they is, that's what they say.
It's always them.
They are always saying things.
Yeah. It was weird because I wasn't tied up. There was no cement. There was no like shawl around my body or anything like that. I didn't look like a mummy. Like
No cement shoes.
So it was self-inflicted.
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Oh, it's getting morbid as we speak.
Love it.
Goodness. My goodness. Take it away, Merle.
Now that we're on the topic of dreams, have you ever had those dreams where your teeth fall out?
Yes.
No.
But like you wake up and then you just touch your teeth to make sure they're not like wiggling?
No.
And then your tooth is wiggling.
No, it's not.
No, but yeah, no, dreams are creepy. That they usually mean something, but yeah, I've never been. Your dream, Dave, is kind of creepy. But I don't know, dreams. Yeah. Anyhow, off the dream topics. Do you have any spooky things coming up for Halloween, Hannah?
Do I? You know what? This is the first Halloween that I have no plans. Maybe that's scary. That's the scariest thing for me is that I'm always booked all October. But the thing is you know what's scary for me is I'm having a huge life change. My life is just like totally different. And so this is like a scary Halloween thing for me. Like, it's like my whole life is changing, total new chapter. And everything is new to me. So this is my scary Halloween. But as far as, events, I'm normally booked solid. And not this year. I don't know. But you know what I do have? You know what I have? Because you were talking about swag.
Yeah.
I have swag.
You have swag?
I do. I have Spaced Out Radio swag.
Yes,
That's
you
me.
do. You showed
That's
off.
me.
You showed off swag.
There's my swag.
I have an offer for you.
Yes.
If you're now not busy on Halloween night, Sweet Robbie G will be filling in for me. And you would be the perfect guest to tell some spooky stories, maybe do some readings for our audience if you wanted.
Well, sure. I would love that. Thank you. Is
Right
it
on.
okay with Robbie G?
Oh, Sweet Robbie G, he'll be tickled pink.
Love Robbie G.
Yeah, we're gonna mark you in there.
All right.
No. So the question about mediumship, because for a lot of people, they don't understand the difference between psychic intuitive, psychic medium. What is the difference actually?
There's a huge difference, actually. Because psychic is basically, because I'm a psychic medium and a tarot card reader, and they're all, and a medium, and I mean, a minister. So there's all different kinds of hats that I wear. But, tarot card readers, we do the nuts and bolts of life. Okay. That's the nuts and bolts. Those are messages for you for go down this road, you're screwed. Go down this road, you're golden. And then psychic is where you're not using a divination necessarily like the tarot, but you're getting and channeling the messages from spirit, your spirit guides, guardian angels, however you feel what you connected to. Okay. And this is where you're getting either premonitions for the future and guidance for people. And mediumship is where you are speaking to and talking to and communicating with actual souls that have crossed over, your loved ones, where as far as there's some mediums out there that are not psychic, and then there's psychics that are not mediums. There's because everybody has their abilities, their specialties, where their strengths are. Kind of like, what's his name? That guy, Gordon Ramsay. He's this great chef, right? And then there's people, everyone can cook, right? But can everybody be Gordon Ramsay? No, he's got his specialty. So everybody has their thing. But some people can do many, like a jack of all trades in a sense, but yeah, mediumship is where I'm basically communicating to your loved ones or other entities that have crossed, that are on the other side of the veil that most people can't see. Guy Fieri. Yeah, he's pretty cool. So, but yeah, I can talk to your grandmothers and your cousins and that have crossed over, or those spirits that have crossed over. Those are mediums. When you can talk to another one that can actually communicate with you, mm-hmm. and logically, communication. Where psychic is just messages being downloaded in a sense and just kind of flowing through. Did that make sense?
That's very well said, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I appreciated the Gordon Ramsay analogy.
Yeah. I can barely boil water. I used to be able to cook a little bit, but I'm just I burn water. So
Fair.
So I'll just rather go to Gordon Ramsay's place and just have him cook for me.
Oh, I could use a good meal like that right now. Totally use a good meal like that.
I was waiting for I saw that when we were in the little place we were in Reno. I can't remember the name of where we were, but
his fish and chips place.
It was Gordon Ramsay was supposed to be opening up something there.
Yep.
I was all excited, but there was a Ruth Chris, and I love Ruth Chris.
What's a Ruth Chris?
Ruth Chris is a steakhouse, and their filet mignon is like butter.
Dang. Okay.
It's just delicious. I love it rare.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. we're off the rails. See, this is why we get Mel WD-40 to lube us up for each show. Yeah, right there. All right. I want to continue on with some haunted type stories here. There are
Can I
so
tell-
many different.
Can I tell you about my dream?
I would love to hear about your dream.
Everybody talked about a dream but me.
Renee's turn.
My turn to check dream. Okay. Before I even realized I was a medium. Okay. This is like when I was young. This is right around the time that I saw my UFO. So just so you know. So it's back east in Connecticut. And we had just moved into this house. And I'm like 14. And I'm having this reoccurring dream. And I wake up jolted out, like something's bad happening to me. And I walk to I'm in this house and I open up the refrigerator, and that's in my dream. And then and I'm wearing fluffy slippers. And see, now if you think about most hauntings or most investigations, everything's always seems to be during the Victorian era.
Always.
Right? Not me. I'm wearing fluffy freaking, like, I don't know. You remember those little monster slippers, and you stick your foot into their mouth or whatever, and it'd be these fluffy things. Okay, this is what I'm wearing in my dream, right? And I'm walking through my house, and I'm going to the refrigerator. I open the refrigerator, and then something happens where I wake up. Something horrible happens to me when I wake up. And this kept happening to me, and I was in pain, and I was scared, and I kept almost dying in my dream, but I'd wake up right before I died. And I was having this, and it would continuously get more and more detailed every time I'd have this dream. And I was having this dream for like a good year. And I'd wake up and I'd tell my mother every day, oh my God, I had this dream again. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. It's like it's getting more detailed, and it's scary. And, I feel like I'm dying, but I wake up right before I'm dying. My mother didn't tell me anything. She just, and then we finally moved out of the house 2 years later. I'm just like, Mom, remember that dream? Man, I had it again, but this time, like, I actually died in the dream, and, and I lived through the dying process, and it just continued on to be this weird thing. Turns out it wasn't really a dream. It was the person who lived in the house before we did, and this is why we were able to get it so inexpensive, is because this young girl, my age at that time, was pregnant and died giving birth in the house right down there. So I woke up every time. I jolted out of the dream every time, right as she died in the dream.
So that would be like a residual haunting, in a sense.
So she was telling me her story. So I guess apparently she still lived in the house. But yes, it was something that kept happening over and over and over again. So, and that was when I was 14. I wasn't quite sure what was happening, and my mother wasn't enlightening me as to what exactly I was doing. But I did learn later on that, yes, she was communicating with me, showing me how she passed and what she went through. And this is how my mediumship works as well. When I do events, like, I'll be like choking on something. I'll be like, oh my God, it feels like someone's like choking me, or something's around my neck and choking me. And I'll be like standing in front of somebody who had paid to be there. And like, they'll be like, oh yeah, so-and-so, my so-and-so hung themselves, and it's like, oh,
Wow.
okay, well then this message is for you. And then they would release my throat. So, but things like those that have crossed over, and when they're trying to relay their message to me, they actually get quite physical with me. And that's kind of how I relay messages and how I get messages a lot. But yeah, that was my first experience in it, but it was always coming in dream form, and I didn't know. So
That's
there's my
crazy.
theory.
Very weird. We got 5 minutes to go here on Spaced Out Radio before we have to say goodnight to both of you. Halloween time, Merle, is always a time when people go looking for the hauntings. They go looking for the spookiness, the stories, whatever it may be. Good thing or bad thing?
Oh, that's a loaded question, Dave. If they're doing it respectfully, obviously you want to go do the spooky things because 'tis the season, and I'm okay with that. But don't do anything disrespectful or dumb. Like you have all these haunted houses pop up, like all the spooky ones where the actors are, but don't go trespass into places just because it's Halloween and ruin those locations for actual people that want to research them, or hurt yourself or harm the locations just because it's spooky season. Just go watch a found footage film. You'll be all right.
What's your thoughts, One?
I say get dressed up like you did when you were a kid and go out trick-or-treating and get candy. And if you can find a house that has the regular size candy bars, jackpot.
Do you recommend people go play with spirits on Halloween, One?
No, I don't recommend it. This is when the spirit, the veil is the thinnest, and yes, it can seem exciting to do, but not if you don't know what you're doing, and not if you're disrespectful. It's that's where you can probably get attachments the easiest, because the veil is the thinnest.
You know what? I agree with you when you say that. I'll add to that because I think everyone's in spooky mode around this time of the year. So I feel that that's a giant EMF. We're all emitting all this energy into spooky things, into scaring each other, into all that sort of stuff. And Ine is right. You're playing with fire if that's what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, if you're not seasoned, and if you're just a part-time or seasonal ghost hunter. So be careful, do it all year long, and know what you're doing and practice.
Yes, practice, but always respectfully. Yes, because that when the veil is the thinnest, that's a holy time. It's a holy time. This is like a holiday, like an actual spiritual holiday.
Mhm.
At least for me, it is. So if you're not into this being an actual spiritual holiday for you, then it's just like an entertainment kind of thing, and that's just a spook, get all scary and spooky. Then just stick with the games, stick with trick-or-treating, pass out candy.
Yes.
Well, I think part of the problem is, not to insult people, but they tend to think at this time of the year the paranormal is something fun. They don't understand that there is a real potential hidden danger beside it. Now, I'm not talking demons. I'm not talking, anything devilish or witchcraft or anything. But, people who aren't understanding of the phenomena, they go onto Ouija boards, they go into graveyards, they go looking to get that thrill. And they don't understand that one night of thrill could end up being a night of changing their entire aspect, their luck, their attitudes of life.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Opening themselves up.
Spirit Halloween had a sale on Ouija boards. You could buy 3 different ones. You could buy a Wednesday Addams one, a Barbie one, or a glow in the dark one.
Which
I'm
one?
gonna have an NA one day.
An A one, yep. I didn't buy one, Dave. I'm vintage. I have my 1887 Ouija board.
I would have liked one of those glow in the dark ones.
There you go.
That'd have been cool.
Yep.
Just over a minute to go here. Merle, what's your plans for the rest of the year?
The rest of the year is busy. Well, this weekend we got to put out an A's video. And we also have another event, our last event at the Alexandra Lodge. We're doing one more fundraiser there to wrap up the year. I'm going to be investigating a really cool place called the Black Casket Cafe. It's one of the best cafes in all of the land. They do fun themed sandwiches and all that sort of stuff. But she collects macabre and haunted items, and the place is amazing, and it's hella haunted. And what else? We got the Vancouver Police Museum, and then we're going to go into hibernation and pump out probably 8 videos that I'm sitting on to do.
Love it.
I'm excited to see them. I can't wait.
Yep.
Merle, One, I want to say a big thank you to both of you for coming on Spaced Out Radio for Ghosts of the Great White North. It is always a pleasure to have both of you here. And One, we're going to make sure that everything's lined up with Sweet Robbie G on Halloween night for you. It's going to be a great show. You guys are going to have a lot of fun, as Sweet Robbie G only can. Coming up next on Spaced Out Radio, we have Swamp Dweller, then Tim James with the UFO Report. We'll be right back, everybody.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with your host, Dave Scott.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate you both. The American Dream, Merle Rhodes. There he is.
There he is.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Have a
Merle
good
Bird
night,
gets
guys.
the worm.
Have a good night, guys.
All right. Good night. Thank you, Nate. Come back on.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Good night.
Much love on May. Take care,
Love you
guys. Bye. All right. We'll be right back, everyone. All right, we are back. Let's make sure your camera's looking good. Come on. There we go. Camera's looking good. All right, little Timmy James. All right. Hope you enjoyed that. All right, we got just over a minute to go. Thank you tonight to Mr. Catfish, Marty, T-Bone with a hat trick, Joanne, Deborah Rooney, Richard, and Simon for the great super chats tonight. Really appreciate the love. Yeah, he's always auctioning off my chair. He's auctioned off my signs. He tried to auction off my hair one time. Yeah.
Gotta love T-Bone.
All right. Your mic is hot.
There you go.
There you go. Don't forget, you can shop at our Spaced Out Radio store. Why, Tim?
Because we do not have ugly swag.
No ugly swag. So make sure you go check it on out. I swear there's something there for you.
There's got to be.
Yeah.
There's something there for everybody, actually.
Everyone. You'll get it. You'll get it. All right, we're coming back 5 seconds. All right, here comes the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. Good to have you with us. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you very much for tuning us in wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on every major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com, we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. The Desert Clam is set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Dybbuk. Dybbuk is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Let's head to the swamp.
Hello and welcome to Spaced Out Radio's Swamp. I'm Swamp Dweller, and tonight I'm going to take you on a mystic journey of the unknown, sharing tales of monsters, legends, and nightmares. Welcome to the Spaced Out Radio Swamp. So, I was a staff member at a Boy Scout camp in eastern Oklahoma. I was asleep in my cabin with my friends when there was a knock on the door. As it turned out, a kid was missing, and for some reason, I didn't get up at the time. I was still half asleep when I woke up and looked at the group chat. I got up and left about 20 minutes after everyone else. I then went walking down the road. I stopped for a moment and quickly realized there was no sound. There was only silence hanging in the air on this night. There were no bugs, there were no birds, bats, nothing. I soon turned around, and in the trees, what I saw will always haunt me. What I saw stood on two legs and looked to be about 9 feet tall if I had to guess. The thing's face looked like a deer, and it let out a horrifying sound that made me freeze in my tracks and crouch low. The monster soon crouched down and looked me eye to eye. Its pair, black eyes were so close that I could see my reflection in its cold, black eyes, and I swore to God that it spoke to me. It didn't speak using its mouth either. However, it spoke inside my mind, telling me to leave and don't look back, or it would kill me. I reacted how any sane person would react. I turned and ran away as fast as I could. As I ran, I was afraid the thing would be stalking me, which only spurred me more. By the time I got back to the cabins, one of my friends told me they had found the kid. Apparently the kid was found in another campsite. The next morning, I told my friend about what happened. He then informed me that I wasn't the only person who had had this experience in the camp. As it turns out, this land is on Native American territory, and because of this, I believe the thing I saw may have been a skinwalker. But I want to know what you guys think. So down in the comments below, let me know what you think this creature could have been. During the weekends, I work at a Boy Scout camp, the name of which I will not disclose. We take kids out camping in the northern US. Anyway, I had younger kids that don't sleep outside, so we eat dinner inside after being outside all day. Then we go back outside after a dinner for a night hike, campfire, etc. So after dinner, I decide as my scouts are getting ready to go outside again that I'd sneak off for a cigarette. My normal smoking spot is too close to where the kids are running around outside, so I decide to jog down a trail to ensure I wasn't spotted. I jog down the dark trail without a flashlight. I've practically lived here for a decade over my time, so it's not a big deal. I know where the trails are. I didn't want anybody to notice me sneaking off, because we're not supposed to smoke if you haven't picked that up. I get about 150 feet or so into the trail and stop, because I figured I'd see how far away I was, and if I was far away enough to smoke, I would. Before I get the chance to turn around, I feel and hear a man breathe right in my left ear. At first, I think it's my jacket rubbing, so I move around quickly, but it was not that at all. I promptly turn around and say, "Screw my cigarette," and walk back inside. As it turns out, many people over the years, myself included, have experienced paranormal activity in this massive camp. Some of the types of activity included will-o-wisps, voices, phantom footsteps, doors opening and closing on their own, deaths, and stories of other deaths, staff summoning evil things there, and oh so much more. So yeah, there's all kind of types of activity out there, and I would be careful if you ever end up in that camp.
Thank you, Swamp Dweller, for another spooky story. We really do appreciate him here each and every night. If you want more, just type in Swamp Dweller on YouTube. You'll go straight to his channel. Don't forget to hit subscribe and ring that bell. Here comes the UFO report.
That is an interplanetary flying space saucer. You have made me very angry. Very angry indeed.
Little Timmy James, thank you for coming on in. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing really good. And you, sir?
I am doing wonderful.
Nice.
Wonderful. Wunderbar, as some would
Wunderbar.
say.
Excellent.
What's your favorite Halloween candy?
My favorite Halloween candy has probably got to be oh geez, now you put me on the spot. Actually, I like those little molasses things that suck the fillings out of your head. You know, the little ones that are the little orange ones with the black cats and stuff. they're the brown candies that your kids always used to throw away.
I still throw them away.
Do you? No, I
do.
like those.
You know what candy I hate the most?
What's that?
Up in Canada, they're called something. I think down in the US, they're called Smarties.
Right.
But in Canada, we call them Rockets.
Oh,
Those colored pasty things.
Mhm.
And I kind of figured it out where those come from.
The bottom of Kool-Aid packages?
No. Okay, this is what I think they are.
Okay.
Because all they are is a bunch of powder that's kind of pushed together.
Yeah.
But now I know what happens when they recycle drywall.
They put flavor in it.
Flavored drywall is what those things are.
Yeah.
They are horrible. Apparently they're called Smarts
Oh, okay.
down there.
All right.
Okay, we have the real Smarties up here.
Yes.
Which are different than M&Ms, but way better.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, way better. But I would say my favorite candy is I love the little chocolate bars, the mini chocolate bars.
Yeah. If there's anything, it's the O. Henry, the little mini O. Henrys.
Oh, yeah. The Wonder Bars, the Coffee Crisps, the Aero Bars.
No Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, man.
Oh, I love Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Can't do them.
Love Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Those are the best.
No, okay.
You're not a peanut butter guy?
I like peanut butter on toast, but don't give me, and I like peanut butter sandwiches, but no peanut butter in ice cream, no peanut butter in chocolate. It just, no.
I like a good peanut butter and honey sandwich.
Yeah, that and peanut butter and banana.
Remember, we come from the generation where you weren't allergic to peanut butter.
That's right. That's right. Every kid in class had peanut butter sandwiches.
Right? Yeah. Oh, I love peanut butter cups. Peanut butter cups. But yeah, and I also like those gooey like the mini Swedish berries.
Oh yeah, like Sour Patch. Oh no, I know what you're talking about.
And the fuzzy peaches.
Yeah, Sour Patch
those.
Kids.
Oh,
getting
those are
canker
good.
sores already.
Those are good. But them damn drywall candies,
no
flavored drywall,
no,
I can't stand them.
No.
I cannot. When I even see them, I get angry. Like I talk about something that upsets me at Halloween time. Okay, it's those damn candies. Cannot stand them.
Note to self.
Mhm.
I gotta take them all back.
Yes. Thoughts on candy corn?
I like them. I can't eat a lot of them, but I don't mind them.
I like them too.
Yeah.
I like. You know who doesn't like them?
Robbie G.
Sweet Robbie G.
Jeez, that guy.
He doesn't like anything.
He's so fussy.
You know, he should have been on a Life cereal commercial.
Hey, Robbie.
He likes it.
Sorry, only part of the audience will understand that.
Right? Right. I don't get it. Lots of UFO talk today.
Just a bunch of, there's a bunch of stuff going around. But apparently I guess this came out a couple days ago, but NASA, a NASA partner says that the alien, NASA partner says alien announcement to come within weeks. So Professor Simon Holland says he has seen evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence in the galaxy, and that it could be confirmed within weeks as two rival groups of astronomers race to publish this. So British academic Professor Simon Holland, who has extensive experience in collaborating with NASA on projects such as tracking Earth-threatening asteroids, is convinced he's onto groundbreaking revelations. Speaking to the Mirror in the UK, Holland revealed, "We have found a non-human extraterrestrial intelligence in our galaxy, and people don't know about it." According to the professor, insiders from Mark Zuckerberg's Breakthrough Listening project have tipped him off that there could be news breaking within a month, potentially timed with the U.S. election buzz, suggesting concrete evidence of alien life forms. He suggests researchers associated with the Oxford-based endeavor may already hold compelling proof of alien signals intercepted by the Parkes telescope in Australia. They found the evidence of non-human technological signature a few years ago using the Parkes telescope, claimed Holland, underlying that the study financed by tech moguls Zuckerberg and Yuri Millernis in an urgent chase for additional data to substantiate their unprecedented findings. Simon warns that they are in danger of being outpaced to the finish line. He revealed, "This is breaking news as of yesterday, but the Chinese might be pipping them to the post with their fast 500-meter aperture spherical telescope program. It's the largest telescope in the world since Arecibo. The coordinates of the target object, known as BLC-1, are allegedly known to the Chinese, and both teams are vying to be the first to make the highly prestigious announcement. 5 potential techno-signature candidates were identified from a re-examination of SETI's at-home screensaver program, which used the combined resources of the world's PCs to sift through the vast amounts of data generated by radio telescopes. BLC-1, Simon says, is considered the most promising by far. Regardless of what the source of BLC-1 signal turns out to be, Simon emphasizes it's unlike any known natural phenomenon. It's a single point source, he says, and it's not just noise. The signal, instead of being the giant buzz of everything in the universe that we hear through all radio telescopes, was a narrow electromagnetic spectrum. Astronomers have been thrilled by potential alien transmission. Before, when pulsars were first discovered, they were cataloged as LGM, or Little Green Men. And then in 1977, WOW signal has never been definitively identified, but Simon believes this time it could be the real thing. The scientists, understandably, are proceeding with extreme caution before making such a monumental announcement. However, Simon anticipates that it could be made by either the breakthrough listening team in Oxford or the Chinese team within the next month or so. And he states it would be wonderful if it coincided with the first woman president in the White House, he jests.
Lots to chew on there.
Right.
Number one, the one thing that I think would really, really throw a wrench in ufology is if China was the first one to disclose. I personally think that any type of disclosure, not this confirmation crap that we're seeing these days.
Yeah.
Not all the whistleblowers who are not providing evidence, whatever it may be. I think China disclosing will cause two problems. Number one, we're not going to know if it's actually truthful or not because of their propaganda.
Sure.
Number two, if it is true, it's going to be a lot of egg on the world's superpower and their faces.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you there. I mean, yeah, could you, like you say, could you imagine that? The hardest thing for them to get over. But yeah, a China coming up with that and saying, okay, here it all is before anybody else did. That would be a super weird twist in the scenario for sure.
Yeah. And I've never liked the way that this whole, lack of a better term, disclosure movement has been going on in the United States.
Right.
I don't like it at all. I think it's very dishonest. I think, well, I could personally say I don't believe in the threat narrative.
Right.
Okay. Could UFOs be a threat and aliens be a threat? Absolutely. 100%. But the way that they have pushed a threat narrative and really I'm going to use the word propaganda again.
Yeah.
Okay. Seem to make it look like publicly this is happening all over U.S. military bases. It's not just happening over military bases. It's happening all over the United States. It doesn't matter whether you are living near a military base in Spokane, Washington, where B-52s are stationed.
Right.
It doesn't matter whether it's near Area 51, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Elmendorf up in Alaska. It doesn't matter. Guess what? Citizens in Seattle, citizens in Kansas City, citizens in Florida, they are seeing them too.
Sure. Absolutely.
And when you pigeonhole it that this is an American military problem, this is where these big budgets come in. And this is where disclosure for dollars comes in. Okay. And I don't like that.
No.
So, but I think if China all of a sudden jumped in front and said, we found life out there.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a lot of mud on the faces of NASA. It's going to be a lot of mud on the faces of a lot of these alphabet agencies.
Right.
All right. It's going to put a lot of negative press out there. and if they have proof, if they can show video of, say, spacecraft flying around.
Mm-hmm.
What if these aliens are on the moon?
Well,
And China's rover picked it up.
yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot with this that could be, you know, earth changing. And if they do that, does China, who is trying to be a big part, or let's face it, they want to be the world superpower. They want to take over the economy of the world. They want to get rid of the US dollar. They want to be the world's superpower and leader in everything.
Yeah.
They want that role in the United States, and in their mind, showing communism works.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot to lose.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. Without getting too political,
No,
I think that's a lot to lose.
Yeah.
And it would be weird and amazing at the same time, as well as, you know, scary.
Yeah.
If all of a sudden UFOs and alien life were what switched the entire, you know, planet around.
Yeah.
For economy, for everything.
Well,
so
yeah.
I mean, we're going to have to see what happens.
Yeah, and I look at it too, and you nailed a couple of points there. That first of all, it's, you know, if it was disclosed by China, if that was the case, and they came up with the proof, okay, so egg on the face of the United States and whatever other countries. But the other thing is too, is that if China did discover it and disclosed it all, besides the egg on the face, and we talked about it the other night, there goes the total control. Right? They've lost control, and they can't dictate to China how this, you know, how this is going to work. They just have to follow along, and now they aren't a leader, right? So,
and here's the other thing about space. Okay, we see a lot of tension over the last 7 decades, 8 decades, 10 decades between Russia and the United States.
Oh yeah,
but the one thing that they always seem to help out with was in space. Space was neutral territory.
Yeah.
And if you get a country like China who all of a sudden takes that over, who doesn't care about anything but China,
sure,
that is a little scary.
Oh, that's a whole nother barrel of monkeys.
Right?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't do good under communism.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't.
No, I don't think I would either.
Right? I'm pretty sure after doing a show like this that I may not, you know, I may not be on the good list. I might be on Santa's naughty list.
I'm thinking.
Okay.
I'm thinking.
Right? But it is something that we need to be concerned about. And, you know, then when you bring in Mark Zuckerberg, like you said,
yeah,
you know, and the fact that they're building this telescope that they may have found a signal or found something, why would they turn that over to China? I'm not saying they have.
No.
But why would you do that?
No clue.
There's a big time space race going on Earth, and nobody's getting rockets in, but everybody wants to play, you know, astronaut.
Yeah. Very, very good point. Very good point. Yeah, I don't know. It's food for thought. And it is scary. I mean, it's a pretty not in depth, but there's a lot of stuff on that in this interview and this article. And yeah, it just seems to be an overwhelming holy cow situation. But yeah, that China thing's kind of never quite thought of it. But yeah, very good point. Very good point.
Well, before we go to break here in about a minute or so.
Yes, sir.
I just want to give a big thumbs down to Mother Nature in our area.
Yeah.
Because for the last few nights, Comet Atlas has been flying by. And the comet is getting ready to disappear.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a comet since I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
Okay. And I remember the first one I ever saw was Halley's Comet.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm probably not going to be around when Halley's Comet comes back again. Probably not. I might make it. You never know.
Exactly.
You never know. But I'm really upset with Mother Nature right now because usually where we live, it's really cloudy during the day, and then you get these beautiful clear nights.
Yeah.
And it seems to have reversed.
Yeah.
Where the nights we're getting rain all the time and
Mhm.
clouds and moisture.
Yeah,
I
sure.
want to see the comet.
I do too.
I even took my boy outside to try and see the comet, and guess what? Clouds.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Mother Nature. When we return, MSNBC has a story on UFOs and a special date in UFO history.
This is Spaced Out Radio and your host, Dave Scott.
Can you believe, since I've been taking a beating from our listeners,
Yes.
that on our YouTube channel, one of the comments on one of our previous shows, somebody was actually griping about our music.
Yeah.
Griping.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I know who the guy is.
Okay.
He's actually a BC guy too.
Huh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think he has a little bit too much Vancouver in him.
Oh, I gotcha.
Okay.
Yep.
Even though he lives on the Sunshine Coast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a Sunshine Coaster, so you know what I'm talking about there.
Yeah, my dad was one for a while.
Yeah,
Oh,
you never want to
gosh.
be Sunshine Coast guy. You don't.
It's like people that couldn't make it up in Whistler.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they're the cross-country skiers of Whistler.
That's it.
Right?
That's it.
They're the type of people who really enjoy bike lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Complaining about my music, saying, so I responded kind of snarky. I said, you don't like anything about our show. Anyway, so the music's going to stay the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my God.
I like the music.
Right?
You and Rob G have some really kick butt music.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Rob G and I worked hard on the music to find the perfect music to the tone and everything.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool because the music that I thought Rob would like is so much more expansive than what I thought he would like. I thought he'd be like Mr. Hip Hopster.
Yeah.
Right? But he is so broad and vast in his love of music.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? When he chose his music, we were like sitting down and we were just like, yeah, man. Oh, yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. Rob's good people.
Yes. Rob is very good people.
Yeah, you got to meet him.
Yeah.
You got to meet him.
I just get to talk to him virtually.
I know. I'll tell you, he's a better man in person.
Oh, yeah. I could imagine.
Way better man in person.
Yeah.
You know, we better shut up because I could feel his.
Is he writing anything? Oh, look, he showed back up. What's it say?
Right. Yeah. Oh, he says Tim James is a good dude, great dude too.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
Love sweets, man. Yeah, that man is. I wish. I will say this about Rob. After last night's show and what had happened, he called me up immediately, and
attaboy.
I wish I had his type of strength. He never gets too high, never gets too low, very even keel.
Yeah.
You know, nothing seems to rattle him. And I got a ton of respect for that.
No, of course.
A ton of love and respect. And the fact that, you know, there's just certain times you need a phone call.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Certain times you need a phone call. He knew.
Yeah.
He knew I needed a phone call.
That's awesome.
And I can tell just by the way he talked to me that there was no question about that. He knew I needed him at that point.
Oh, that's awesome. No, that's good.
And that's a man.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
That's a man. And that's an old school man who just knows when he is needed,
Yeah. Yep.
and can't say enough about it, man.
No, Rob's cool. I enjoy going on his show too. And it's, he's great guy to talk with. And awesome.
Yeah.
Rob's awesome.
I'm going to fill all you guys in on just everything after the show. And
so stick around.
Yeah. Tim Mothman called me up too.
Did he?
Yeah. He's one of the very few people who have my cell phone number.
Yeah.
And he knew I needed that phone call too. So I got to give him credit as well. We talked for almost an hour.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
But I'll fill everybody in after the show.
Yep.
Okay. And just kind of what's going on with everything. And 20 seconds. Thank you to Simon, T-Bone with a hat trick, Richard, Deborah Rooney, Joanne, Marty, and Mr. Catfish for the great super chats. Really appreciate the love. Thank you very much. Shop at our Spaced Out Radio store. We do not have ugly swag. People know ugly swag.
None.
We got like 7 seconds. So I really didn't have to rush that, but I did. All right, here we go. Here we go with the final half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. We're continuing the UFO report with Tim James. Thank you for joining us. My name is Dave Scott. We always appreciate bringing the woo to you. Reminder to all of you that if you missed most of this show or others, we got our archives. They're always free. Always free. There will never be a charge for our archives. You can find them on YouTube. You can find them on any major podcast network. We are great with that. And our website, spacedoutradio.com, we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. UFO Report, Tim James is here, as MSNBC actually had a UFO story on it today.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, credit to them.
Yeah.
UFOs have captured the imagination of Americans for decades. But much of the conversation has been to science fiction movies and novels. In the absence of government commentary on the topic, conspiracy theories have run rampant. A big one suggests the U.S. has been concealing alien life and technology in secret compounds like Area 51 in Nevada. The government is trying to change the narrative, though, in an attempt to be more transparent and address potential national security questions. Here we go. Washington, D.C. has taken up the charge to publicize and legitimize the study of unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAPs, as the military has rebranded UFOs. I think they have started to recognize that we should actually have the ability to report these objects, not because we're out there doing some type of UFO hunt, but because it's a matter of national security and domain awareness, that the tactical air crew in this country understand what's in front of their aircraft, says Ryan Graves, former fighter pilot who had an encounter, but is now the executive director of the UAP-focused nonprofit Americans for Safe Aerospace. All right, a former U.S. Navy pilot. Graves also testified before Congress in July alongside two other former military officials about his experience with the UAPs. The congressional hearing followed a flurry of government activity aimed at demystifying UAPs. So you know the story's BS when it's going UAP, not UFO. All right. So here they are talking about what again? Threat narrative. Now, for those who are uneducated on this topic, and I'm not saying I'm educated, but I think I know a tad more than a lot of people out there.
I would
not
think
to
so.
be arrogant. Okay.
Yeah.
here we go with, once again, turning this subject into a military threat. All right. So let's find that line again where he states, because it's a matter of national security and domain awareness that the tactical air crew in this country, who is the United States Air Force, the United States Navy, the U.S. Marine Corps, Coast Guard has a fleet of aircraft, Space Force is looking into satellites in space, and of course, Army has helicopters. Basically taking this and saying, this is a threat to our military. You know what happens when you get a threat to the military? You get money.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of money.
Tons of it.
All right. Here's the problem once again, and I know people out there are not going to agree with me. This is why I tell people there's a big difference between UFOs and UAP. UAP will get money. They're not investing money in UFOs.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people who argue against me will sit there and say, well, UFOs fall under the category of UAP. I have talked to many people behind the scenes who are allegedly in the know.
Right.
Who've all categorically told me UFOs are UFOs.
Yeah.
UAP are man-made objects, drones, weather or balloons from China and other countries, and other technology that we may or may not even know of as a citizen.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the threat narrative.
Yeah.
It's getting old. It's becoming, the same story. This exact story that MSNBC reported on today. I'm glad they did.
Sure.
I'm glad they did, because any news that goes onto a major news about a network about this subject, whether it's online or whether it makes the broadcast, is always a good thing, because it legitimizes the public in understanding that this is being looked at.
Right.
But there's nothing new here. Okay? There's nothing new. And that's what's disappointing.
Yeah.
Why don't they admit? I'm going to rant here for a second.
Go right ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Why can they not admit that this is something that is happening all over the United States, all over North America, all over Central America, South America, the oceans, Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia? It's happening on every continent. Did I say Africa?
Yep.
Okay, wasn't sure. I forgot about that for a second.
If you didn't,
I had that pause there. Like, did I mention Africa? I didn't want to leave them out. Okay. They all have this phenomena happening.
Sure.
And guess what? It's not just military people who are seeing this, but they've got it in their head, and they are tricking the public in trying to make them think that this is a military problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it was a threat, and once again, I'm not saying that some of those UFOs or some of the potential aliens, NHI, whatever you want to call them, I'm not saying they're all good.
No.
Not every human is good. Okay. There's a lot of people incarcerated around the world for being bad.
That's right.
And those are just the ones we caught. But I will say this. No other country has come out with a threat narrative on UFOs. The rest of the Five Eyes,
right?
Canada, New Zealand, Great Britain, and Australia have not backed the United States on the threat narrative. In fact, Canada's National Defense Department has even come out and stated that they are not of any threat in Canadian airspace.
Right. Right.
But companies from all around the world, doesn't matter whether you're British Aerospace or Lockheed Martin, they're seeing billions. And they're going like this, that we're going to get it.
Yeah.
Keep that threat narrative up.
Yeah.
We're going to get it. I don't care if you're a nonprofit. I don't care if you're for profit. If you're pushing a threat narrative from specifically a military side, you are pushing a narrative that is untrue.
Yeah.
It's untrue. We talk about wanting facts and the truth.
Right.
The truth is they probably know about it.
Yeah.
But if they want to get that taxpayer billions, okay, and as I said with Walter M. Sterling earlier on, when I was on a WPHT for Sterling every night, these companies will do anything for that military-industrial complex dollar.
Sure.
And let's not forget, every year, the billions and trillions that go missing, just right?
Right.
Every year.
Yep.
Every year there's money missing that they cannot account for. Do you think those unlimited black budgets, okay, are free? No. They aren't free.
No.
Your thoughts?
No, exactly. And that's just it. Tonight already, control. It's about control. If they can keep people, that threat narrative going, and keep people worried, and keep, and it's a military thing, and we've got to, it's a threat. Yeah, people are like, oh, it's a military threat. They buy into it. And yeah, you're just, I don't know. It's just like, it's the only country. I'm like, we're not doing it up here in Canada. Right. And it's greed. And it's such a big mud puddle of stuff down there. And, like I say, and I've said it before, I love the States. I really do. I enjoy going down to the US. And I have no problem with that, but it's just the way that their government and their people are handling stuff down there. And it's a money-making machine. And it's too bad because, I guess the almighty dollar is more important than what you are elected for and what, to tell the truth to the people and represent the people. Right. And it's a shame. It's a shame.
I mean, look, if aliens are here, which I believe they are.
Sure.
Okay. I really believe they are.
Yeah.
Well, I have my own proof.
Yeah.
I don't have proof to show the public, but I have my own proof.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've experienced it. They have to know. They have to know. And they have to know what's going on and have a clue.
Sure.
And as many people believe, they've known since Roswell.
Yeah.
They've known for a long time what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as Steve Bassett from the Paradigm Research Group goes, it's really is time to end the embargo. But you just can't end it by saying UFOs are real.
No.
Okay?
No.
Because remember, we're dealing with a government that still is trying to separate and segregate UFOs under the UAP platform.
Right.
And NHI, aliens, extraterrestrials, off-worlders, whatever you want to call them, they have not brought the two together yet.
No, definitely not.
They are two different subjects for many people there.
Yep.
The only one who's really tried to tie it together has been David Grush.
Right.
Okay. And he's the one who basically said that we have both. Because for some reason, these aliens can get here, but they're not using the UAPs. Right?
Exactly.
So I just find it interesting that, look, we're going to get a lot of different a lot of different opinions coming
Sure,
out. This is going to continue.
Yeah.
But the mainstream media needs to pick up the story. And this type of story about UFOs on MSNBC,
Yeah.
although great for publicity,
Yeah.
it tells nobody anything. There's nothing new there.
No.
There's nothing about what this is, where it's coming from.
No.
This story, you could tell this is a let's just put it on the website for the sake of having it on the website. I'll be honest with you. I don't know who the author of this is, who wrote it. Okay. It seems like she's probably a rookie
Could be
the subject.
Yeah.
You know, just, that's an interesting topic. Let me see what I can write there. I'll get a quick quote.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And that's the thing. I mean, as you and I've talked about before, and I think everybody else, when something new comes out, I would say there's a 50% chance when you go, oh, wow, there's something. I find it's just regurgitation, and they've just reorganized paragraphs and sentences and maybe the location, but it's the exact same thing. And, I find sometimes that they bring stuff up from 10 years ago and they just revamp it. And it's like, why does this sound so familiar? Oh yeah, because this happened, everybody knows about this. So yeah, it's tough. And you're right. And it's kind of a cream puff article, I guess. I don't know how you
Good point. You got an anniversary you want to share?
Yeah, actually. So it's 77 years ago, and it was in June. And this incident was overshadowed by Roswell, and a lot of people have said that. So this was the Maury Island incident, and this was a story or a report written up in the Vashon Maury Island Beachcomber, and it was written by Henry Stewart Wood. So he just brought it to attention. I found it pretty neat. The headline caught it, and it just said Maury Island incident overshadowed by Roswell. So on June 21st, it was the 77th anniversary of the Maury Island incident. Maury Island's very unusual introduction into the world. So the Maury Island incident was a reported encounter with a UFO on a obviously unidentified flying object off the southeast shore of Maury Island, just north of Tacoma, Washington, that played an early part in the UFO craze that still fuels our imaginations and our media reporting. So on June 21st, 1947, Harold Dahl encountered 6 large circular flying objects that appeared over his boat just off Maury Island near Sandy Shores and Somerhurst. One of the crafts descended to a lower elevation over Dahl's boat, appeared to be unstable in the air, and began to eject lava-like hot debris, some of which landed on Dahl's boat. Dahl described the damage to the boat, the burn injuries to his son's arm, and the debris that hit and killed their dog. As the one craft struggled, another came down and touched it, and the struggling craft stopped dropping hot debris, regaining its stability, and they all rose together and headed off at an incredibly high speed. So Dahl and Fred Chrisman had a contract with the Port of Tacoma to round up logs that had been broken loose from log rafts, being towed into lumber plants in Tacoma. When Dahl returned to Tacoma, the story got out and spread very quickly. Chrisman said that he went out the next morning and saw another UFO in the same area as Dahl had reported. He also gathered some debris that might have fallen from the struggling UFO the day before. There have been reports of sightings of extraordinary flying objects for centuries. During World War II, there were thousands of reports by pilots, but they were largely kept secret. Then, on June 24th of 1947, UFOs became a public phenomenon when American aviator Kenneth Arnold startled the world with his account of sighting 9 UFOs near Mount Rainier, traveling in a formation in excess of 1,200 miles per hour. So because Arnold was an experienced pilot and a credible businessman, the story went viral, setting loose an avalanche of stories and musings about UFO sightings, space aliens, and the dangers they might pose to the American human civilization. And that's how it's all started. As UFO stories multiplied and spread, the summer of 1947 became known as the Summer of the Saucers. Because of the number of other compelling UFO incidents that included the Roswell incident, where the flying saucer crash was supposedly covered up by the government, all of this took place 2 years after the end of World War II. So the Cold War was beginning, and there was a widespread concern and anxiety about the Soviet Union. Americans worried about whether Russians also had developed an atomic bomb and other advanced weapons developed by capturing German scientists. The United States had captured the German scientist Werner von Braun, who helped America develop its rocket program and would culminate in the 1969 landing of the moon. Among those drawn to Arnold's story was Ray Palmer, a publisher whose magazine Amazing Stories specialized in fantastic tales of otherworldly alien civilizations, their highly advanced technologies, and their visits to Earth. Stories like these tapped into deeper human fears and imagination of attacks from both Russia and from outer space aliens. The American military also responded to the growing number of UFO counts. The concern were that these incidents could pose a real danger to the United States, and they could be Russian experimental aircraft. So the U.S. Air Force, which was newly formed in 1947, began investigating the phenomenon. The effort was pursued by a series of top secret projects. Project Sign in 1947, Project Grudge in 48, and in 1952, Project Blue Book, which lasted until 68. Most sightings and encounters were explained as mass hysteria, presumably seeded by Russians, mistakenly identified, or hoaxes. So the stories also captured the attention of J. Edgar Hoover, director of the FBI. Hoover took a direct interest in the Maury Island incident and had a definitive report on it prepared. Although Hoover pulled the FBI back from the UFO investigations because of the military intelligence document that seemed to relate to the FBI investigations, it turned out to be ash can covers, toilet seats, and whatnot. So they met. He sent out 2 Air Force pilots, and they met and in Tacoma at a hotel. So I can get to it here. They met at a hotel, and they were convinced of the story was true, but they were told by the people that the 2 guys that had seen all of this happen that they had hoaxed it. And those 2 pilots, when they left, even though they said they hoaxed it because the men in black showed up, they gave these 2 pilots all the stuff that they had found and all the bits and pieces as they flew along. The 2 guys left, and the plane exploded with both pilots in it.
Isn't that weird how that happens?
Exactly.
Thank you, Uncle Tim.
You're very
for
welcome.
a great UFO report. We'll see you very soon. As we say hello to Mr. Ron Bubble for the ball. Rocking in the background with Little Brother is watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio. Rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at work, at home, cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everyone in our chat rooms tonight. YouTube, Twitch, Elga, Facebook, Stream, LinkedIn, Space Travelers Club, and on X, hashtag Spaced Out Radio.
I know you're out there somewhere.
Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us. Because together,
don't make a mistake. We're watching.
we own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, the Moon Train has docked for the night, but soon, my friends, we shall ride again. Seats are always available. Tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, we've got room for them too. Good night. It's good stuff.
I love that. Good stuff.
Very good stuff right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty happy with that.
Good.
Pretty happy with that one. Close that off until tomorrow night. I still don't have a guest for tomorrow night.
What?
No, not yet. Going to gonna figure that one out tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Just get this downloaded here. How you doing?
Good, man. We get Tim Mothman in tomorrow.
And his goatee.
Yeah.
Who will do the talking?
I don't know, but then we could have 2 guests, right?
Maybe. Maybe. All right. Zensbill. You can interview me and Tim Mothman.
There you go.
Uh-huh. What about the goatee?
Yeah.
Zensville. Lee, are you just trying to stir it up again or what?
Again? I didn't even see it.
Yeah, it's not even close to being funny.
What's T-Bone saying?
Want Brown Dwarf on.
Oh.
Like that. Like this. Give me a couple seconds here.
I'm totally good. Had that earworm or that brain worm again tonight.
Oh, all right. Let's see here.
You got my message the other day, right?
About
my air drumming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was air drumming to Metallica, and then I dropped one of the sticks, so I had to start air drumming to Def Leppard.
That's funny.
But thank you.
That one is funny. I'm not gonna lie. That one is funny. Trying to formulate words in my head.
Yeah, dude,
and it's scrambled right now.
Yeah, I can understand that. Totally.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. I get you. And good reason, man. Don't get me on a soapbox.
So last night during the show, there was a comment made. The person who wrote it said that they didn't mean it that way, but it triggered me, and I shut the show down. I know it pissed a lot of you off. Right now, and Tim can attest to this because I've Tim and Rob and Terry, I got a great team behind me, and when you have enough nickels and dimes, because in Canada we don't have any more pennies,
right?
It adds up, and I have really, and I've been kind of open about this recently. I have really been battling my depression and anxiety really hard the last few weeks. And in the last 2-3 weeks, it has been kicking my ass. And so I noticed it starting probably back in June. I know why. That's between, a lot of the stuff is personal. But what happens is when you're continually needled, and that is what I accept in being public.
Yeah.
Okay, when people call you out, or like recently, I was joking about it. I think you were here where that guy called me fat in the chat room.
Sorry,
fat and ugly in the chat room.
Yes. Yeah.
That stuff usually rolls off my back.
I get it.
And then I usually will give some sort of sarcastic comment. But when you're battling, every one of those comments in your head, because when you have depression and anxiety, your brain is broken.
Yeah, of course it is.
Okay, it is broken. And so all of these nickel and dime comments have added up.
Yes.
Because there's a few things I'm protective of. If we focus on the show, I'm very protective of our guests.
Of course.
Okay. You want to see me go into rage mode?
No.
Insult a guest.
Right.
I don't care if you are not a fan of them. Okay. Let's use our Keith Andrews as an example here.
Yeah.
This is a guy who's been bullied his entire life. This is a friend of mine. Okay. Not only is he a friend, but he is a very, very good human being. All right. He's a very good human being. And I love the dude a lot.
Sure.
And when I see people coming in to the chat room and are, calling him a liar, where's your proof? Where's your evidence? He's been doing this show for almost 9 years. Okay.
Yeah. And
every time someone who is on the cool skeptical bandwagon, because that's the cool thing to do now.
Yeah.
They get insultive because they hear this guy who they think is a whack job. Okay. Coming in here, spewing all this stuff.
Right.
A lot of people tend to forget that behind these stories, behind these people, behind me, behind what we do, there is a human there.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay. So one listener said on our chat room last night that basically we don't allow a lot of people to criticize or to have a different angle from the show. That's not true.
No.
Okay. That's not true.
No.
I don't ask you to believe anybody.
Yeah.
Right? But what I do expect from anybody is that you hold a modicum of respect for that person who is giving you the time out of their night to actually come on the air and entertain you.
Absolutely.
Okay. You don't have to believe. I can tell you right now, I've known Keith 9 years.
Sure.
I don't believe everything he says.
Well, no.
But if that's his truth and the knowledge that he has gained, okay.
Yeah.
Let's just have some fun with it.
Absolutely.
All right. And so I see a lot of people, they just, you don't have to sit there and say, okay, you don't have to sit there and believe them.
No.
But show him the respect that he is a human being.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He is somebody that has an opinion. That's his opinion.
Yeah. No.
We're a storytelling show.
Right.
Okay. That is our focus. If anybody who criticizes this show, okay, actually understood broadcasting and understood what focus meant. Our focus, when I was in broadcasting school, I had one professor, her name was Jennifer.
Right.
And she drove into us. She was like our English teacher.
Yeah.
And she drove into us the word focus. She said, what I remember the first class I did with her, she said, you guys are going to hate the word focus by the end of the year.
Right. Yeah.
And we did.
I'll bet.
But you know what? It was the most, when did I graduate? 1998. So that's 26 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most important word I learned. Because she drove it into our head like a drill sergeant.
Mm-hmm.
If you're confused about what this show is about, our job is twofold. Number one, our job is to entertain with people's stories.
That's it.
Okay. I'm tired of the where's the proof? Okay. I'm tired of that.
Yeah.
All right. There is no proof in this field because those who have proof are never going to give it to us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to cut down people. I don't care if it's people that we know are phonies like Corey Good, David Wilcock. You've never heard me cut them down.
No.
Okay?
No.
I'm not going to cut down a guest and give them, like I've seen in our chat room, you're a liar.
Right.
Who is this idiot?
I know.
Get them off the air.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
We're not a podcast.
That's right.
Okay? So the one thing I could very easily and be much happier if I did this show without the YouTube audience, without the Twitch audience, without
Sure.
the X audience.
Sure.
I would love it to go back to old school radio where it's just me and the guest in studio. Okay, where you have to go listen to the podcast, the live podcast side,
Mm-hmm.
or listen to the terrestrial radio side. All of our stations are on our website.
Yep.
I could easily go back there, okay, and guess what? Get zero harassment.
Yeah. Well, of course.
Okay. And the thing is, a lot of people don't understand. We're not a podcast.
No.
The podcast is the recording of the show.
Right.
We are a live radio show.
Yeah.
What we call live to tape.
Mm-hmm.
So what live to tape means is, thank you, T-Bone.
Again.
What live to tape means is we record the show live, unedited, for the audience, for the radio stations who play the show the following night. So tonight's show will be played tomorrow night on our radio stations.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So that's why you never hear us date anything.
That's right.
We'll never wish you a Merry Christmas or Happy New Year or Happy Halloween or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right. I could easily do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I know for the growth of SOR, there comes the responsibility of having that YouTube platform.
Yeah.
That is having the Twitch platform, the live on X, LinkedIn. Facebook is just a mess with it since they butchered it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So the point that I'm getting at is this. A lot of people out there don't understand what we do because we are a broadcast, not a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to tear people a new asshole just because whatever. I don't have time to dig. If I had time to do the journalism that I want for this show,
Yeah.
I sure as hell wouldn't be in this studio
No.
because I couldn't afford my mortgage.
Yeah. Exactly, right?
And I am forced to work a daytime job.
Mm-hmm.
Look, if I was, let's just say hypothetically, I was disabled.
Yep.
Okay. Doesn't matter what it is.
Sure.
But let's just say I didn't have the ability to have a daytime job.
Yeah.
I would be doing a lot more digging in journalism. And there's a lot more that I personally want to do.
Sure.
But that's a time commitment.
Yeah.
Okay. This job to be what the people want is a 10-hour-a-day job before you go on the air.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. I may exaggerate it 10 hours. Let's say 8-hour-a-day job.
Still. Yeah.
Okay. Because you have to be on the phone. You have to be digging for that information.
Sure.
Okay. Our job with SOR, the way I formed it with my radio partners, and the reason why our ratings go up is because believe it or not, there is a world outside the UFO world, okay, of people who want to hear other people's stories. Like Merle told a great story tonight.
Yeah.
Ane told a great story tonight.
Absolutely.
Okay. They want to hear those stories. That's why they tune in. That is why I call this show an entertainment show.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is our focus, is to bring those first-hand accounts. I don't care. Call them anecdotal, call them whatever. I don't care. But I'm at the point now on a personal level on a couple of things. I really meant it when I said a couple weeks ago, right now, I have 0 fucks to give.
Yeah.
Okay. I really have 0. And number 2, people, if you're thinking of throwing an insult, a shot, a snide remark, or anything, remember, you don't know what that person is going through.
Yeah, for sure.
And that snide remark can hurt somebody more than you know. It may be just a little sarcastic shot.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you're not understanding or not agreeing or whatever. But to the person who at that point, and I'll use me as an example because this was at me.
Yeah.
Okay. And this goes well beyond, guys, the comment of Lee. You'll notice that Lee is not banned from this channel.
Right.
Okay. There's a reason why he's not banned. All right. Because I like Lee. I do.
Yep.
All right. Him and I butt heads all the time. Okay. But I cannot, or when you're thinking of giving that shot, that snide comment, just remember something. That you don't know what that person has gone through.
Yeah.
All you see is the facade of me. You don't know what's going on in my personal life. And right now, Tim could attest, my personal life is very, very dark right now.
Your plate is over full, dude. It really is.
Right?
There's a lot of stuff going on.
I don't talk about it because SOR for me is supposed to be, lack of a better term, to use a woke term. And I hate woke, but I'm going to use a woke term here. SOR is my happy place.
Yeah.
It's my safe spot. Okay. It literally is my safe spot. And I know, being a public face, that I'm going to take some heat. I'm going to take some ribbing. I'm going to take some cheap shots.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm good with that, man. But sometimes those add up.
Yeah.
And I'm in one of those places right now where, like I said earlier, those pennies, nickels, and dimes are adding up to some real dollars.
Yeah.
And it has got me in a very I don't want to say a dark place, because the minute you say dark place,
Yeah.
everybody thinks, oh, somebody's going to unalive themselves.
Yeah, that's right.
That isn't the case.
No.
That isn't the case whatsoever. And for the record, for a lot of people out there, I am talking to people. Okay. I am getting it out. I have a great support group all around me. Okay. And no, I've never been visited by the men in black. I don't have black helicopters flying over. Okay.
Damn.
I don't. Yeah, it's boring. It's just once I want the knock at the door.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just
invite
once.
me over when that happens.
I'm going to get pictures.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to get pictures. I'm going to say, guys, we got to take a selfie of this. Okay. We have to take a selfie.
Right.
But I want you to know that for many of us, I'm not going to talk us. That's bullshit. Let me talk about myself
Yeah, I
for
get
a second.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, I use this show as my release.
Yeah.
I use it to allow myself to sleep at night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I use this show because, never mind all of you audience, and I'm so thankful that everybody is here.
100%.
I'm thankful for all our subscribers and
Absolutely.
everything. But I use this show to help me sleep at night and help me live.
Yeah.
I don't take medication for my depression and anxiety because I have 3 hours a night to calm my brain down.
Yeah, for sure.
And calm my emotions down.
Yeah.
The other thing too that I want you guys to realize, and I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek into some of the shit I'm battling right now. Okay. And once again, Tim being one of my Insta best friends, and thank you for that, by the way. He knows because he's seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
And that is for 10 years, almost 10 years, I can probably count on my 10 fingers and 10 toes how many times I put my son to bed.
Yeah.
And Tim knows, and I'm not saying anything that's out of turn here. My little guy hates this show.
Yeah.
He loves it because he loves the weird topics.
Yes, for sure.
But what he doesn't love is that Daddy works until 5 o'clock. Then he gets home. Dad's tired. Dad needs to relax for a few minutes, which is usually about half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then Dad comes and eats dinner. And then to prepare the show, to wash off what happened earlier in that day, to refocus, to redo this show, and be in a great mood for all of you, something has to sacrifice.
Yeah.
And every day, especially over the last couple of months, my little guy asks me every day, Dad, do you have to do a radio show?
Yeah.
And I've tried to explain to him, okay, I've tried to explain to him that I am doing this for him because my daytime job is driving me nuts.
Yeah.
Okay. It is literally driving me bonkers. And I'm not going to get into detail about that. But what hurts is knowing that I always have to tell my son, no, I'm working.
Yeah.
No, I'm working. No, I'm working. Yes, I have a show. I'm sorry, son, but maybe another night we can watch that movie. I'm sorry, son. Maybe another night when we can do something, play a game or whatever. That's what it's come down to. Now, it would be completely different if I didn't have my daytime job.
Oh, yeah.
If I didn't have my daytime job and I could afford to do this on my own,
right,
I totally would.
Yeah.
I totally would, because I think if I was there during the day and I wasn't tired to take my son to school in the morning,
Yeah.
to see him at after school, to spend those 5 hours with him before having to come into the studio,
Yeah.
where we could watch a movie after school, where we could go play catch, where we could play Nerf gun wars,
Yeah.
where we could, play hockey together, whatever it may be. How much better off would he be? And instead, my total consumption of my family equals out to about Monday through Friday, 45 minutes a night. I get my son for 45 minutes. And if I'm late coming home from work, or let's just say, hypothetically, one of my coworkers says, hey, let's go for a beer.
Yeah.
And there I am while they're drinking beer and I'm drinking Pepsi.
I know. I was just going to say.
And I take up that extra 45 minutes.
Oh.
Like, I'll give you another example. Let's go Tuesdays or Thursdays. Okay. I get off work at 5.
Yep.
I have my chiropractor appointment at about 5:20, 5:30.
Yeah.
That usually lasts till 6. And then Dr. Phil and I, we chat for about 5-10 minutes.
Sure,
afterwards.
of course. Yeah.
And then I leave. So by the time I get home, it's about between, let's say, 6 and 6:30. Last night, I got home at 7. I haven't eaten dinner. So now I got to eat dinner. I wolfed down dinner. Well, first I had to make it because my partner was having fun over at her friend's house.
Yep.
Okay. So I had to make myself dinner. I got 8 minutes with my boy yesterday.
That sucks, dude.
And then when I'm about to go downstairs, Dad, do you have another radio show to do tonight? Yeah, I do, son. Aw. Can't you just take a night off? So I really wanted to watch this movie with you. My fucking life is the song Cats in a Cradle.
Right?
Which was exactly what my life was with my dad. And I'm doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you guys this, and I'm not going to get, woe is Dave anymore.
No.
Okay?
You're not woe is Dave.
But I'm telling you guys this because it is, how can I put it? There's a humanity side on the other side of everything. I don't feel sorry for me. I'm the one who made the choice. Okay? I'm the one who made the choice to do that. Why can't I quit my job? Because I like the roof over my head. I like having electricity.
Yeah.
I like having a vehicle.
Yeah.
I like food in my fridge.
Well, the thing is, too.
Right. And I'm not saying, and earth goat trees, I'm not saying that to take a shot at you. Please don't take it that way. But there is a reality here. I have to keep my daytime job in order to pay for my nighttime job and everything that goes around it.
Yeah.
Okay. I have no choice. I am stuck.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
No.
So I've had a number of people who I trust and love come up to me and say, why don't you cut back on SOR?
Yeah.
Because I am 94% of the way there.
Yeah.
Okay. 94% of small businesses, which we are a licensed business.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not just a dipshit podcast.
That's
out
right.
there. Okay. We are a licensed business. And what happens is, in order to grow the business, we have to keep pushing out the product.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
We're at that point where 94% of all small businesses can get. We have to try and make it that extra 6%
Yep.
in order to crest the hill. So that way I can leave one job
Mhm.
to concentrate on the other. Okay. That's the point we're at.
Yep.
We're also at that point on an equal level, without sounding negative. We're also at that level where the majority of small businesses crash and burn.
Yep.
I'm not a crash and burn kind of guy. I'm a fight kind of guy.
For sure.
And that's what I'm doing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm doing, is I'm fighting because I believe in this show, and I
Yeah.
believe, and I've had some really brilliant people in terrestrial radio
Mhm.
who continually tell me that this show is legit. It is good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And they are looking for avenues to try and help break us open, along with our own team.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm thankful for that. I really am. So that is my concentration, because I still see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Sure.
I'm not out there saying, well, it's over. I've done 10 years. I wanted 10 years. I got 10 years.
Mhm.
Okay. But I still want more.
Yeah.
Okay. I still want more. There's still so much more to do, and people that I want to interview, and
Oh, yeah.
people who I want to talk to. I don't care if they're famous or not.
Exactly.
I just want to have that opportunity to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still having fun.
Well, that's the most
Right?
important part. Yeah.
And I want to be able to have fun doing this. And I just, I realize that there are people out there who take these subjects extremely seriously.
Sure.
As an experiencer, I do.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff I've heard from my contacts that I have built is pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible. And I don't feel like the job is done.
No.
I haven't brought SOR to the point where I need to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I brought it to the point where we put out a good program.
Yeah.
We got excellent weekend hosting.
Oh, no question.
Okay. We have good teammates such as yourself.
Thank you.
We have backbones like Terry Hall
Mm-hmm.
and Kira.
Yep.
Okay. And Spookles the cat. Okay. We have all of that. We have the pieces of the puzzle in place.
Yeah.
It's just that the pieces are still turned over onto the gray side,
Mm-hmm.
and we're trying to match them up.
Yep.
That's where we're at.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I still live on the hope when I hear somebody like a radio mentor of mine who will literally listen to the show and say, how in the hell has this not got picked up yet?
Right. Yeah.
And give you compliments like while they're on air.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying this one-on-one,
Right.
but while they're on air, literally. And the funny part about it is their station is a station that has coast to coast right after his show. And here he is telling his listeners to come listen to us.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is a bunch of this momentum
Mm-hmm.
building up. And I want to see that through.
Yeah, for sure.
It's kind of like the guy who gets, say, drafted into the NFL and spends his entire, or let me use baseball as an example. You always hear of those guys, There's at least one a year where they're 32, 33 years old.
Yeah.
They've played the last 12, 13 years in the minor leagues,
Mhm.
battling their way through, and finally they get the call up to the majors.
Yeah.
I'm still that AAA minor league ball player waiting for his phone call, because I believe the pros are still within sight.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So that's kind of where I'm at with everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so don't blame Lee. Don't blame anybody else. All right. Here's what I want. It's going to be simple. Here's what I want. I want our chat room. Hold on. I want our chat room to have a modicum of respect. Okay? Have a chat room where you don't have to agree with our guests. You don't have to agree with me. But let's have a good discussion and debate without name calling, without being a spitfire, without being, rude.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's simple.
Understand the concept of our program, that we're not a podcast, we're not a YouTube channel. We are a live radio show. Okay? And a lot of people, you're live to tape, the show doesn't play. That's still a live radio show in broadcast sense.
That's right.
Because we're not editing out. The only thing that ever gets edited from this show is the swear words. That's
right.
it. So when Nicole Sackage comes on and drops 3 bullshits, 1 fuck, and 1 asshole,
Nicole,
I have to edit that out for our radio stations.
That's right.
That's the only thing that gets edited
Mhm.
ever on this show.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it's all natural to tape.
Yep. I can vouch for that because I sit here and watch them do it.
So understand the concept of the show.
Yeah.
That not everybody is as serious about UFOs, paranormal, cryptids as many of us who take this subject to heart.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. And number 3, enjoy it.
Exactly.
Okay. And understand. And number 4, understand that it doesn't matter who the guest is. And trust me, over the years, we've had some duds, man.
Oh, yeah.
We've had some duds.
Yeah.
I call them one and dones.
That's right.
Okay. That you'll never hear them on this show again.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were bad interviews.
Yeah.
One way or another, it wasn't a good interview.
Sure.
Okay. At least whether you agree with the listener or not,
Yeah.
and I'm not asking you to, understand that they have the right to be respected because they have chosen to give you, the listener, 2 hours of their time to hang out with you.
For sure.
Right? And like I say, there are guests I don't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? There are guests. Yes, have I snapped at a guest before? Hell yeah, I have. Okay? Especially when you go over the rules of the show prior and they take it down a turn that could either A, get you banned from YouTube,
Yeah. True.
B, get you in trouble for going on terrestrial radio.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a time and a place. So let's draw the comparison where people say, well, Dave, you don't ask tough questions. Well, I don't ask a lot of tough questions. But I do.
Yeah.
I just know how to form them. After 26 years of journalism,
Mm-hmm.
I know how to form a question without shoving my finger in a person's face.
Right. Yeah.
Without trying to say, well, I got a microphone, so I'm tougher than you.
Yeah.
Or raising my voice in order to, in order to prove my dominance.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Example. When I have a guest who's giving me 5 to 10 second answers,
Your favorite?
okay, you never hear me say to them, you got to answer longer. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing here? Like,
Yeah.
we've got 2 hours to kill. Okay. Like, give me an answer. For God's sakes, answer the question.
Yeah.
No, you'll hear me say, I really want you to paint a picture for me
Mhm.
on what that looks like.
Yep.
How many times have you guys heard me say that?
Lots, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go into detail for me. How did that work?
Mhm.
What did it look like? How did you feel?
Yeah.
I'm massaging the question so I don't look like an asshole.
Exactly.
Okay. In the
Exactly.
meantime, what's going on in my brain is answer the
What the
fucking
hell?
question.
You know.
Okay. Answer the goddamn question.
Mm.
All right. That's what's going on through my brain.
Yeah.
Right.
We just killed 1.5 minutes. Right.
Right. And that's why you guys don't hear me have the conversation prior to going on air, where I have the conversation with the person where I'll say to them, I don't want a 30-second answer.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a 3-minute answer. Give me a 5-minute answer.
Yeah.
Give me a 7-minute answer.
Yep.
Let me see what you're projecting in my head.
Mhm.
Paint the picture.
For sure.
Right? That's what we do. That's what radio does.
Mm.
It's not bombastic, in your face bullshit like Glenn Beck or Rush Limbaugh used to be, or Alex Jones,
Mhm.
or whatever. Okay. That's for ratings. They got on video, they got on television, they got on Rumble, YouTube, whatever, other platforms, because they know if they show that personality, it's going to raise the testosterone levels in a lot of people, and it's going to raise the ire of a lot of people, which brings ratings, which brings money, which brings more advertisement.
For sure.
Okay. I'm not that guy.
No.
I am totally not that guy. Okay. If you want that type of UFO show, maybe we're not for you.
Yeah.
And that's not for, I know we have our loyalists and I love them to death.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay.
Right?
But if you're new to the show over the last, I don't know, let's say a couple months.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we're not the show for you if you're looking for that bombastic, in your face, Alex Jones type style.
Yeah. No.
I'm not that guy. All right. I want to hear people's stories. I want to hear people's encounters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed.
So I'm moving ahead and moving forward. I'm not going to talk about this, okay, until I feel another need that it does need to be discussed. Okay. For my wrenches out there, okay, don't have a hair trigger. Allow people to speak. And if they are, if you get somebody in here who's being an asshole or pushing the lines or whatever, just give them a warning, delete the comment.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If they keep doing it, just keep deleting the comments. If they get personally insultive, boot them.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't want to be a booting channel.
No.
I don't like being a booting channel. Okay. But I'm not going to allow any sort of abuse in our chat room. All right.
No.
It's just not going to happen. I'm tired of the abuse myself.
Yeah.
All right. And in the end, away from here, I live a damn good life. I'm blessed with good friends. I'm blessed with a beautiful family. Got that really handsome grandson.
Yeah.
God, he's handsome. I get on the phone with him on FaceTime, and I just look at him and point at him like, "You're handsome. You are handsome."
That's
Right?
great.
And he kind of looks at me like, "What
What
the hell are you saying,
talking
Grandma?"
about?
I'm like, "You're handsome, you little bastard. You're handsome." Right?
That's awesome.
Yeah. I love this show.
Mhm.
I'm gonna end this on this, guys. I love this show. If you have questions or you don't understand or whatever it may be, I've always been an open book where you can ask me. Always been an open book. Okay. I realize there are shows that, they go after people, they jump around on people or whatever. I'm not that guy. If you want to know anything, just ask. That's what social media is for. You can always message me. Okay. Don't go digging for my phone number.
I can just give it to you.
Yeah. Hit up Tim. All right. But just ask. If there's something you don't understand, or if there's something, I heard a rumor of a rumor of a rumor, just come ask me. All right. Okay. Just come ask. That's it.
Yep.
Just ask. That's all I'm saying. So on that note, I'm going to say goodnight to all of you. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the amazing super chats. Simon T-Bone ×4, CS, Jennifer, Catfish, Marty, Deborah Rooney, Richard, and Joanne.
Nice.
Thank you for the love. I don't know who my guest is going to be tomorrow night just yet. I will let it know as soon as I possibly can. Sometimes we get that. Okay. Sometimes we get that. And that's the way it's going to be. So I'll have a guest for you guys tomorrow night. We'll put on a damn good show as we normally do.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. Thanks, everybody. Much love to each and every one of you. And later.
Stay healthy, my friend.
You too.
If you need bail money, give me a call.
Always, Dad. Take care.
You too.